Yakov, what's going on, man? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I just got a text from our mutual friend Lisa Correa.
Oh yeah, I'm friends with Lisa.
Okay,
I work.
okay.
She's a comedian I worked with. I know her for quite a while.
She said your show is amazing. So
Whoa. Oh, my God.
it
Well, we're off
starts
to a rocky start. Yakov's microphone just fell. That doesn't happen at the Yakov Theater, does it?
No,
that's embarrassing.
No.
I also I toured with Dice for a few years. He loves you. He talked about you all the time.
I think he's amazing. He makes me laugh more than anyone, and I learned English from him. You know, all the nursery rhymes.
That's probably a problem. It's probably not the guy to learn English from.
How did you meet Dice?
I met him at Rodney Dangerfield Club here in New York, and it was our first gig that we got actually paid. Him and I got paid $40 each. And I was a little intimidated by him because he's a big guy, leather jacket, kind of a stereotypical hoodlum kind of not something I am attracted to, and he in the darkness of the club, he was like, "Hey, Yak, you and we're a good team," you know. And I'm like, "Oh boy, this is." So I moved.
But what are you going to say? No?
Yeah,
like, yeah, we are. Yeah,
so I moved
bet.
to California. I thought that I'll not going to see him ever again. And then he knocks on the door. Mitzi Short, the owner of the comedy store, had a place where comedians could rent a room. And so he was the next batch of comedians, and I was already there, and he knocks on the door, and I'm going, "Oh, no." And he said, yeah, I told you we're a good team. We're going to be together. And so we were roommates for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were roommates with Dice long before anything happened.
Yeah. He, at that time, he was just doing impressions of John Travolta and Sylvester Stallone and Elvis. He used to close his act with Elvis songs, and then HBO Young Comedian Special gave him a chance to be seen by national audience, and took off from Comedy Club to Madison Square Garden.
And what about Kinnison back in those days? I know he was. Did he live there first, or did he live there after you guys?
No, he never actually lived. He would just show up and crash there after nights of doing. I mean, there was a funny house because a lot of people would come there. Robin Williams would come there, Sam Kinison, and they would get together like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was working. Mitzi hired me as a carpenter. I didn't speak English, so I was like working there as a carpenter and go to bed early, and then I wake up and they would just go to bed, and I go downstairs and there's a mirror on the table, and I couldn't understand why there was like powder on it, and I thought they were eating donuts, right?
On the mirror. Don't eat donuts on that mirror.
Right. So I would wipe it off, hang it back, and I would tell them next morning, I said, "What are you guys doing? Why can't you use plates? You know, you have dishwashers here in America." And they would laugh, and nobody would tell me what was going on. So that was my introduction to Hollywood.
Was them leaving Coke mirrors?
I love that. I was going to pass any drug sniffing dogs, they would have smelled it all over your hands from wiping it off.
So you learned English from just being here?
Yeah. I didn't speak English when I got here. Yeah.
How do you learn English and then transfer it into humor? Like, how do you, like, all of a sudden, while you're already here, you learn, like, okay, this is how you speak and this is where the joke is?
Well, I was a comedian in Russia, which was hard for Americans in those days to imagine even that there is such thing as a Russian comedian. It sounds like Mormon wino, you know? And so that was a curiosity factor right away when I got here. So, but I was hoping to be able to do comedy, but I didn't know if I can or not. So I got a job. Well, I collected, my parents and I came together, no money. We were living in Washington Heights in a tiny apartment. And I realized that I need to learn English, so I figured, where can I learn and make a living at the same time? Decided to become a bartender, and I got it was $200 degree that you can get to become a mixologist, and so I have that degree, $200, And it was on 42nd Street, like on the east side, there was a school of mixology. So I would go there, don't speak English. I would bring that clunky big tape recorder from Russia, and I would record every lesson, and then I would slowly translate what they were talking about, Bloody Mary or Grasshopper or, or Dry Martini or whatever. And that became my learning tool to learn the language.
Well, it's crazy now. Like now on the phone, you have these like Translate or Google Translate, and you can hit a button.
Yeah.
And back then you had to bring a big shitty recorder and go over it word by word.
Yeah.
And look it up.
Yes.
Hey, when you were doing stand up in Russia, like there's all these, like you weren't allowed to say certain things, right? You couldn't criticize the government or
you couldn't talk about government, sex, religion, and politics. The rest was fine.
right. Yeah. What did you stick to?
Fish, buttons. I mean, it was literally, there was a mother-in-law joke, something that would not get any red flags. And you would get approved by the Department of Jokes once a year. You would submit your material and they stamp it.
Really?
Yes. Every state had a Department of Jokes. And then it would go to Moscow, which was the big Department of Jokes, or Ministry of Culture had literally Department of Music, Dance, Jokes, all of that.
And was there any that were flagged you could think of? Like what the fuck did they flag that for?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had to be careful to begin with when we were submitting it. But I remember a joke that I submitted. It was about little ant got married to female elephant. And after first wedding night, elephant died. And the little ant said, only one night I enjoyed myself, and now for the rest of my life, I have to dig this grave.
It's pretty funny.
Funny, right?
Yeah.
But they thought I was talking about the Communist Party. Yeah.
Oh, because of the...
Yeah, because it was they were so concerned that people will rebel that even that kind of subtle
You
thing,
change the joke to hippopotamus?
could have saved the joke.
Saved the joke.
Yeah.
Oh,
saved
that's
it.
true.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'll go back and redo that now.
So was your mind blown when you come to the States and you see that there's, literally no restrictions on what anybody, especially if you're hanging out with Dice and Kinnison?
Yeah.
Well, even prior to that, I remember being in New York. I lived here for like 6 months, and I went to Playbook Club, and there was a comedian there. And he said that Jimmy Carter just had a hemorrhoid operation, and he's going to be a perfect asshole again, right?
Mhm.
I was all the way in the back of the room. I ducked. I didn't realize. I was like, holy, somebody's going to shoot.
This is going to be a major problem.
Somebody. So I don't want to be associated with this when things hit the fan. And so that was the conditioning over the years, but I'm not complaining because it was kind of a great training for comedy. At that time, clean comedy was the only comedy that would get on television. So for me, I was already knew how to walk between the lines, and not cross them. And it worked for me.
How did you deal with fame? Coming from where you came from and then coming to the country and learning, English through being a bartender, all of a sudden at one point in your comedy career, you just blow up.
Yeah.
You become this enormous
Height of
pop
the Cold
culture
War.
figure. Yeah, in the 80s.
Yeah.
You got all this money, you got you freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you've never had that before.
No. And it was happening gradually. It feels like it happened overnight, but it didn't really.
Yeah.
It took me like 6 years to get on the Tonight Show, for example. So I was earning every step of the way. I was earning my keep here. And and then at some point, it was mid-'80s when I got sworn in as an American citizen here in New York at the Statue of Liberty. And that was a big shift there, too, because I was there and Baryshnikov was supposed to be sworn in at the same day at this big event. and all the media was there to talk to Baryshnikov, and everybody kind of ignored me. They didn't see me, and then Baryshnikov, FBI guys, came out and said he's going to be performing later tonight. He's not going to give any interviews, and all of these reporters from Time Magazine, Newsweek, New York Times, LA Times, everybody was there. They were standing waiting for Baryshnikov, and I was like hanging out waiting for this thing to happen. They're like piranhas turned and went for me, and I'm alone there, no PR person, nobody. And they're like, okay, I'm with Time Magazine. I'm with Newsweek.
They had to get something.
Yeah,
exactly. And so all of a sudden, I'm going, who are you with People Magazine? Could you wait here? I'll talk to Time, and then I'll talk to Newsweek, then I'll come back to you. So all of a sudden, it just became like, I don't think it will ever happen. It was just happened to be the buildup of that Americana Statue of Liberty unveiling. All of that was building up to this event, and I just happened to be in the middle of it. And
you're Russian, and that was kind of attractive too, because Russia was the arch enemy of the U.S.
Exactly.
Well, how is it for business now? Because they're trying to get Russia back to being the arch enemy of the U.S. You performed for Trump, right?
Say it again.
Have you performed for Trump?
I have performed for Trump.
Do you worry that they'll bring that up with the collusion?
Well, actually, I wasn't planning on performing for Trump. I was invited. It was actually Lisa Correa. Yeah, she was at, we were in Florida, and we were writing stuff, and she got an invitation to go to Mar-a-Lago to do this comedy show like a couple of months before. And so and she said, she texted me like a couple of days before that, and she goes, you know what, I have this gig, and I think Trump is going to be there. And I went, okay. And
when was this? When was
that? Was last 2 weeks ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so I said, well, I would like to, jump in to perform just because it's an unusual spot. And
sure.
So and they said, sure, great. So I was able to perform. And I met Trump. I worked at Trump Plaza Hotel for years. I never met him there. And and in Branson, he brought in Miss America pageant, Miss USA pageant. That was it, and so I met him there, and in Branson, I'm a big shot, with big billboards and all of that, and so he said, "Well, this is your town," and I said, "Well, you have yours, I got mine." So that was the only interaction, that we had, but it was an interesting opportunity to perform, but what was happening in the 80s, the country was united against Russia. Mm-hmm. And Gorbachev was kind of making the bridge, but there was unity. Here, we're not united. So Russian humor doesn't really, it works a little bit, but it doesn't carry me through the 2-hour show, you know. And so it's an interesting thing. I'm performing at Stockton University this Friday, and at the Performing Arts Center, and then in Schimmel, the center here in New York City, at the Pace University. So I'm doing like an hour and a half show, and my show is focused kind of down the memory lane a little bit, but my future, what I see, I'm just about to graduate with my doctorate degree from Pepperdine University in California. I got my master's degree in psychology from University of Pennsylvania. So I'm kind of became a professor at Missouri State University, teaching course on happiness and laughter. So I'm kind of, I used to help to end the Cold War in the war room. Now I'm trying to end the Cold War in the bedroom, and and so much more job security there, I'll tell you. Because when the Soviet Union collapsed, there was a major shift for me. David Letterman had a top 10 list of things will now change, and I made number 1 on the list. Yakov Smirnoff will be out of work.
It was bad for business
It was not good for me. At first, I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then 6 months later, none of my none of my shows that I had contracts, Vegas, Atlantic City, Reno, Tahoe, none of them were renewed. So I started looking for a place where they did not know that the Soviet Union collapsed.
Branson.
And that's how Branson,
I
Missouri
ended
came
up
up.
in Branson, Missouri. I swear to God, I didn't want to go, but there was nobody would hire me. Honestly,
Wow.
yeah. And
Which has
I
got to
have-
be I mean, just a total shock to the system because you were one of the hottest comedians in the
You
world.
performed for Reagan.
And now all of a sudden it's over.
Yeah, it was over in like 6 months, and
like you just said, it was years, build.
exactly,
And now we're done.
And there was nobody to talk to. What am I going to say? Hey, put the wall back. You know, what am I going to? You know, there's nothing I could do, right?
Yeah.
So my agent calls me, and he said, I can't get you any work, but Willie Nelson has this Farm Aid concert, and he would like you to co-host. There's no money in it, but you know, if you want to do it. So I said, well, Ames, Iowa is a place I always want to perform. And sure, I'll go. And I went there and I was like real nervous. I mean, 40,000 people, all farmers. And I'm like, what do I know about farming, you know? And Willie Nelson introduced me, and this 40,000 people gave me a standing ovation. And I was like, holy cow. And I said, listen, I don't know about farming. I was on a farm once, and the guy played practical joke on me. He let me milk his bull. And I learned something. You milk this animal once, you have a friend for life. And the crowd went crazy for me. And so Willie, after the concert, I went to his trailer, and he was like between puffs of smoke, and you can't even see him behind the smoke. And he's like, kid, you should go to Branson, Missouri. They'll totally get you. And I was like, what's Branson, Missouri? You know, and then I checked it out.
Well, when Willie Nelson tells you to do something, you do it.
You do it.
And when you performed for Reagan, how did that happen? Like he had seen you on the Tonight Show and just liked you?
No. I was playing in a small club in Washington, D.C. It was called the Comedy Cafe. I don't know if it's still there or not. And the guy who, chief editor of Washington Times, Arno Borshgraf, he's passed on now, but he saw me and he was there, and he, came over, and he's like, guy I didn't expect to say to me, hey, you're funny. I'm having President Reagan and Nancy Reagan at my apartment for dinner. Would you like to join us? Right?
Wow.
And he was with a very attractive wife, and I'm going, well, maybe I don't know who the guy is, but, okay. So I gave him my phone number. He calls me next day, got tickets for me to, and I get to Washington, and he meets me at the airport, and we're going to his apartment. And I don't know if you guys know, when the president shows up, there's like block off the whole neighborhood. Yeah. The helicopters are on above the buildings. It was scary, crazy kind of And so we pull in, and they ask for the ID from the owner of this apartment, and he goes, I'm hosting the president. They said, well, we don't care. We need to check your ID. And then they ask him to step out. They search him. I'm going, oh, what chance do I have? I just got out of Russia, right? And the guy shines a light on me. The FBI guy shines a light on me. And then he goes, Miller Lite commercial, right? I go, yes. He goes, go in. I had a better idea than the owner of the apartment. So the president comes in, and this is like unreal. This is like totally like in the movie scene. And I'm standing there. There's only 18 people at this apartment, and they're all like Secretary of State, big Secretary of Defense. I mean, it's like, and the president walks in, and they introduced me, and they said, this is Yakov Smirnoff. He's a Russian comedian. And the president immediately says, have you heard this joke? And he tells me right away a joke about the Russian guy who wants to buy a car. And in those days, it took forever to buy a car in the Soviet Union. So he goes to a factory. The manager said, put your name on the list, come back in 20 years, pick up the car. The guy said, do I come back in the morning or in the afternoon? And the manager said, what's the difference 20 years from now? The guy said, the plumber is scheduled to come that morning. I cracked up, and we connected immediately. And for the whole evening. Now, this was a pretty interesting evening because Reagan sent helicopters, military helicopters, to scare Gaddafi. So for the whole night, as dinner was going on, first of all, they had, like in the spare bedroom, they had the whole hospital set up just in case, They do
it in a bedroom, huh? Right there?
Yeah.
Wow.
They covered the windows with plywood so nobody can see in. I mean, it's pretty big operation when the president goes out. And behind him for the whole evening stands this Marine in a very traditional kind of with the football, which contains all the nuclear codes for launching an attack right there from the dinner table.
Wow. In a football?
In the football, like a briefcase.
Yeah, I see.
And they call it football, but he's standing there holding it. And his job is not to break a smile, really, for the whole time. And he's standing like we're right behind the president, and I'm looking at him straight on, and everybody's cracking up, and he's standing there
trying to laugh.
Yeah, I can't laugh. So there was a pretty interesting night. So the whole night we were just telling jokes to one another.
That's amazing.
And after that, he laughed, and I was like going, what just happened?
Yeah.
What did just happen? And then after that, a couple of months later, I get a phone call from President Reagan's head speechwriter, who is now congressman in Dana Rohrabacher. He's a congressman in Orange County. And he says, President Reagan, this is very confidential, but President Reagan is going to go to Russia to meet with Gorbachev for the first time. And this is a big deal because he won no American president have not been in the Soviet soil in decades. So he wants to do a speech in front of all the Russian politicians in Kremlin. So President Reagan asked if you were to write jokes for his speech.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm thinking, if this doesn't work, I don't have any countries to go. Right? But how do you say no to someone like that? So I wrote jokes, and they liked them. They put them in the speech, and then they send me the speech. They said, would you mind looking it over, the speech, if we're in the right track? I go, okay, am I the most qualified person to do
funny,
this?
Right?
Punching up Reagan's speech.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so they sent me the speech, and I didn't like it. I mean, I thought, it was kind of talking down to telling them what they need to be doing. And I'm saying, I said, I don't really think that it's appropriate to take that tone, because to them, they're going to get offended. And I don't think that's what the president wants to do.
Right.
And they said, well, then can you rewrite the speech? And I'm like, oh, this is too crazy. So, but I put some comments in it, and I wrote what I thought. It was just shifting the tone of it, and they liked it, and that's how it went.
So you come over, you literally learn English, and you're doing bartending classes, and then a few years later, you're punching up a speech that Reagan's going to make to Gorbachev in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
What pressure?
I have a question about Branson.
Yeah.
I've never been to Branson, but I know that you were a king there for a very long time.
Yes.
And while I've never been to Branson, we have seen the commercial for Yakov's Dinner Theater.
Yes.
Multiple times. Now, here's the question.
Yes.
You go over all the highlights of all the great things that people can enjoy as part of the night, and the show, and the dinner, and the magnetic trays and everything.
Yeah.
One of the big highlights is that there are real linen napkins.
Yeah.
And that is highlighted in the commercial. Why in Branson do you feel like when we're advertising our theater, real linen napkins is going to be a selling point?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks to YouTube for kind of exposing.
That's where I saw it.
What's behind the scenes. What
that really was just meant for Branson,
happens
wasn't
in
it?
Branson stays in Branson, okay? And linen napkins is one of those things.
Right.
Nobody ever mentioned that, but it was. I was trying to get some advantage over. There's some very successful venues that serve dinner, and I only did it for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I realized that I'm not in the food business. That's not going to happen. But it was kind of creative because we were able to feed like 2,000 people in 20 minutes.
Right.
And it was really the real good food, and everything was so.
The napkins were legit.
And candles too.
I know. I heard about the candles.
We had candles on the trays as well.
No,
so
I know
we were
about
trying to take some advantage because we're still seating on the airplane kind of seats, you know, and so it's not gonna.
So are you thinking that if I put in the commercial, there's real linen napkins here, that people are going to be like, this is a classy joint. This is the real deal. I'm going to take my wife.
Then yes, exactly. That's what I was hoping for. It didn't work. It
did
didn't
not
work. No,
I'm
it
sorry
did not
to hear
work.
that.
Long term, it did not work.
I'll tell you, if I take my wife out to a place,
You
and
want linen napkins?
I do, and
Yeah.
they give me paper napkins.
Exactly.
I'm embarrassed.
Totally.
Linen napkin says class.
Absolutely.
does.
It absolutely. That spells class.
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the food. Oh, you got a little something on your hands.
And candles.
There's a linen
yes.
napkin and a nice candle
fake
on the tray.
candle. Yes.
Hey, were you married when you came to the States by yourself?
No.
Oh, so you probably had a good run with women then when you.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, I did.
Yes.
I and got married to an American, not real American. She's from Oregon. And we had two children.
Oh.
Natasha and Alexander. It took us a while to figure out their names because when our daughter was born, my wife wanted a real American name for her, Brandy. And I said, Brandy Smirnoff? why don't we just send her to rehab daycare center so she can play with Jim Beam and Johnny Walker? And so what was interesting about that relationship, and this is why I'm on second marriage now, because the laughter, that was an interesting, as a comedian, I noticed something, that there was so much laughter in the beginning of the relationship, and then slowly it kind of went away.
Right.
And I didn't notice it. Now, with my audience, if it happened, I would have noticed it in the first joke, right? Second joke for sure. But I didn't. And over the years, and then we eventually broke up, and I started learning about this correlation between happiness and laughter. And I realized that laughter is the first thing that people realize. I asked over 4.5 million people in my theater, how many of you would go on a second date if you didn't have laughter in the first date? Applaud. No one. 4.5 million people.
Wow.
So we're using laughter as a gauge whether we're connecting with that person or not, whether that person has ability to meet our needs or not. Is their sense of humor matches our sense of humor?
Right.
It's like catch and release program.
Right.
Literally. I mean, and then you finally hook somebody with the same sense of humor, and that's a great catch, and you stuff them and you put them on the wall.
Did you have the opportunity to pick up Teo while you were in Branson? Because you were the king there, or were you married? Or both?
And I'm very. I was married when we got there. Mm-hmm. Then I got divorced.
Oh, that must have been a wild time.
I'm not complaining, but catch and release. I mean, I went for a lot of catching and a lot of releasing.
Good for you.
And
releasing's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to release.
Yeah, so I would typically release too soon.
That's not what I meant. But yes.
Release quickly and then release your date.
But I'm married to a very beautiful Ukrainian lady. This is something that I decided that I'm going to go back to my my roots. Yeah.
She good looking woman, Jim?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And so
fantastic.
And
does she laugh at your jokes?
Yes.
Then we're good. We're
yes.
golden. Beautiful woman who laughs at your jokes?
Yes.
Forget it.
And the point is she makes me laugh too. So it's like really amazing. And so now I'm paying attention to this because laughter is the first thing we experience when we meet, right?
Right.
Second thing is later is like intimacy. Third thing, you live together and get married. When things don't go well, laughter is the first thing to go. Second thing is intimacy. Third is your house. I learned that. I learned it the hard way.
House goes.
Yes, I learned it, and I know not to do it again.
That's when you're sleeping in your dinner theater.
Yes, with the linen napkins and a candle. Right, exactly.
Michael Cudlitz is here. Michael, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Awesome. How you doing?
It's good to see you.
As well.
It's an exciting time to be you. You've got The Kids Are All Right, Tuesdays at 8:30 on ABC. Now, when you find out that you're getting killed off The Walking Dead.
Why do you got to go right there?
No, I know. I know it's tough.
There?
We're in a good place now.
When you died. Wow.
But do you sit there and you go like, oh, what the fuck? I don't need to get killed off this show. I don't have anything lined up for what's next. This was it. Everybody knew my handlebar mustache.
No, I was good. I was good with it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had a nice little run. I fell in love. I was happy. I knew it was time to die.
That's it.
Were you? Did you get sick of it at all? Like not the people, but the idea of like, all right, I'm ready to do something new.
No, actually, the people are the only thing I did get sick of.
Oh, okay.
No, it was awesome. You're separated. From most of us out there, we're separated from our families. So we shoot in Georgia, and I think there were 2 or 3 of the regular cast members that actually lived out there, but everybody else is brought in from out of town. So you kind of find a really cool family bond because you're all you have out there. I mean, the weather, I could choose better weather situations.
Muggy as shit weather, right?
Yeah, but Atlanta was fantastic. I loved Atlanta.
Yeah. But being away from your family is not the greatest thing in the world.
It was all right.
Yeah. You didn't want to move into Atlanta full time?
No.
How old are your kids?
I have twin boys that are 22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do they go to college?
They do.
Oh, they're
telling me they do.
Okay.
I don't know.
Were you on that list? Did you pay the $500,000 to get them wherever?
So we only have a couple minutes. There's some guys waiting downstairs to take me to my next appointment.
Does that stuff boggle your mind when you go like, you went through this process, you got the kids into school, and you're like, well, I don't understand.
I did. Well, see, the thing is, this is like 2-part. I do understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand the need or the want to do the best for your kid. What I don't understand is all the tremendous illegal things that then continued from it, and the cheating on the test. It's like cheating at golf. It's like, look, if you don't know it, you don't know it.
Right.
I don't understand. Like, I cheated on the SATs. I guess because everyone thinks that it's a rigged system anyway, so they kind of want to give everyone a pass. But no, it's like the tax evasion and all. It's like it becomes like you're a criminal.
But how do you have that discussion? I don't have kids, but how do you have that discussion with your kid when you're like if you just do something and they don't know it? But how do you go? All right, look. You have. There was some kid that they said to talk slower in the psychiatric evaluation or something.
Really?
Yeah,
to
because this way
to get a moderator.
You can get a moderator.
Yeah.
You can get a longer. Like not that you're
just
special needs, but that you're like a little slow and you need more time. It's like how do you say to your kid just act like you're not as bright so you can get more time on the test? How do you have that? How do you?
You want to go to the school you want to go to. You're like, we're going to screw these people over. Okay, mom. I mean, mine wouldn't. Mine are like they kind of like to do everything on their own anyway. Whatever it is, there's elements of it I don't understand at all.
Yeah, you would think, I mean, to your point about the illegalities by maybe step 1, it starts to sound like, oh, it'd be nice to have an advantage. But by step 2, you're like, wait a minute, we're starting to go into this web of things that we're not going to be able to get out of. We should not do this.
I know, but I think everyone agrees though, or knows that that system anyway. It's like, well, we buy a building, we can get in.
Yeah.
I mean, most of us are not in a position to do that, but somehow that's okay. It's like, oh, it's the so-and-so wing. Well, their kid got in because they're a legacy. There's just so much stuff built into the system where you sort of go, well, if I figure out a way, that's okay then.
This is just a more obvious version of what people have been doing for years in colleges.
Yeah.
This is just like a more blatant example of sneaking.
Until you go into, and guess what? You can write it off on your taxes.
That's
the donation, yeah.
That's tough. Yeah, there's a legal way to buy your way into college and an illegal way to buy your way into college.
Which makes it confusing because then you go, well, you're rich, but you're not rich enough. And everybody else who doesn't even have the means to even consider that is sort of like, what the hell are you all talking about?
Yeah.
It is a more obvious way to, you're right, people, my father went here, and if his father's in a powerful alumni.
Then it's okay.
Yeah.
Then it's
no problem.
Because I give to the Alumni Association.
Exactly.
You know, you've got that recurring.
Exactly.
You got that recurring donation that sets up. You set it up when the kids are like 10. So by the time they're 18, we're good to go.
Did you go to college?
I did.
Are you attached to your college?
I went to an art school.
Okay.
So I always laugh when I say that. I don't know why. Because I think everyone else is laughing when I say it. I went to California Institute of the Arts.
So do you go back? Like, I never understood like with the alumni how they get so attached to this. It's like, just let it go.
Yeah.
You went there, it's done.
Well, you're
Move
just jealous
on.
because you didn't go to college.
I did not, no, but I wouldn't go back anyway. I don't go back to my high school.
If I couldn't have gotten into the art school, I wouldn't have gone to college. I mean, I went to City College. I was never a great student, like ever.
What'd you take in art school?
Acting.
You
Seems
just
worked
did it.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love looking at people's IMDb, like the first stuff they got.
Yeah.
Like from like for you, it was
Why?
like the
Because you
late
hope
80s.
that one day maybe you'll get something?
I know mine is empty right now. I list my auditions.
That's not true. I think you're terrific. I've seen a bunch of your stuff.
Well, thank you.
Been a fan before this. I'm not kissing your butt and trying to get into your college.
21 Jump Street. Like you did a lot of like weekly shows. You did like Chicago Hope, like
Episodics?
Yeah.
NYPD Blue. I'm fascinated with this stuff. Like, how long did you do all these things where you were auditioning for one episode before you finally nailed something?
Well, it's funny because like NYPD Blue, it's been on the air so long. I think I auditioned for NYPD Blue 6 or 8 times before I finally got cast. It was
What'd you play
Jimmy
as?
Lowry.
Who'd you play?
First, I was hired to play this guy who Sipowicz thought had shaken his baby to death, but he hadn't. But then they threw that script out. This is when David Milch was there, and they were rewriting. You know, he would just be in the middle of a story and toss it out and start over.
That can't be great for you because they look at you and they go like, "No, he can't play the guy who didn't shake his baby to death."
No, it's awesome. It was great. The material was fantastic. But then I wound up. They tossed that story out, and they wound up hiring me like 2 days later to play a white supremacist group that came into New York, and we were a bunch of old Army buddies, and we burned up one of our other buddies because he had married a person of color.
Wow!
yeah.
You burned the guy.
Yeah, well,
Jesus.
you have to do that, you know.
Sure.
I mean, when you're a racist white guy with a monosyllabic name.
Yeah,
Right.
He's going
Coming out of
burn
the
your old
military.
friends up.
Well, he just shouldn't have done what he did, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
God.
Consequences have,
Yeah.
or actions have consequences.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So at the end of it, are you caught? Are you arrested?
Of course, it's NYPD Blue.
What are the good guys not going to
That
win?
was Dennis Franz, right?
That was.
Yeah, he's the
That
best.
was.
And
Yeah,
Jimmy
and that was
Smits?
Jimmy Smits, and
Yeah.
he was
Oh.
a phenomenal actor. Great time.
What was the gig where you started to feel like you had confidence, not in your ability, but in the fact that you were going to be able to make a living doing this? Because I would imagine when you're doing episodes of series and you're making a living, but there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to continue. To
There's
make a
no
living.
guarantee ever.
Mhm.
Honestly, I mean, I have good buddies who just stopped working. Yeah, I mean that sounds really sad, and it is. But
Did you go back to day jobs or other careers?
Yeah, and I had started out doing construction and film and television. That's why I paid my way through school. And if I had to go back to do it again, I would.
You
But
did
there's
at
yeah.
points, right? You worked behind the scenes while you were acting as well.
Yep. Yeah. Until Band of Brothers was kind of the big transition where it was. I don't think I thought, okay, I don't have to worry about working again. But I moved into a place where I didn't have to worry about working. I mean, work kept coming after.
A little
that.
paranoia is healthy. Like I'm obsessed with the
I'm
fact
still
they're going to take
paranoid.
everything. Yeah, you got it. You
it's
got
sort
it.
of like, okay, this is the last gig. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, so that's when you're ready, when you're okay, like storyline wise, I'm ready for my role on The Walking Dead to be done. It makes sense that it would be done here, but monetarily and in terms of getting a check every week, isn't there a part of you that goes like, oh no, what's next?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you're an idiot, in my opinion. Like if you're not sort of thinking,
I guess
What's next?
If I leave the handlebar stash on, I could do Comic Cons for a
quitting.
while.
What are you doing next? I don't care. I don't think anyone I don't think anyone's thinking that way.
What'd you do on 21 Jump Street?
Played a boxer dude who did I kill somebody? Probably killed somebody.
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I killed somebody. Early on, I killed a lot of people.
You did.
Yeah, I killed a lot of people later on too.
I've
in
never
my
killed
career.
anyone in a.
No, that's about right.
But that's what. Yeah,
I
that's literally
could.
why I chose to do the new project. Kids Are All Right, because I was kind of tired of killing people.
But you're still a working class gruff dude, even
Yeah.
and the kids are all right.
Whoa. I'm a loving, caring father that you obviously have misunderstood.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the nuance was lost on me.
I haven't seen it. So do you play a gruff guy or do you play
I
a...
do. It's
Gruff. I
It takes
hate that
place in the
word.
70s. We're an Irish Catholic family. There's 8 kids, all boys. And you got to rule with a semi-metallic fist.
Yeah.
It's a soft metal. It's not quite iron.
Exactly.
So, I mean, part of it is, the working class mentality and just getting the kids through what they need to get through. Don't worry about,
It's getting the parents through what the parents need to
Right.
get through. It's like, you don't really have time to worry about the kids.
Were your parents supportive of you being in the arts? You grew up.
They were.
Did you grow up in Long Island or?
I grew up, born in Long Island, grew up mostly in New Jersey.
Mhm.
We moved out of New York when I was 5, and then we were in New Jersey in Lakewood for another 10, 11 years after that.
Lake, I've done gigs there. Where is Lakewood? Is that like Western Jersey? I don't remember.
It's,
It's north.
like Central Beach community-ish, sort of by Six Flags.
Oh, I was
I mean,
way
sort of by.
off.
It's actually by.
Okay.
It is
Is
by
Six Flags?
Flags.
Oh, that's
I
right.
lived in
another
Six
name for it,
Flags.
yeah.
People used to drive by our house and go, "How do you get to Six Flags?" Don't ask a 16-year-old kid how to get to Six Flags.
Did you go a lot or no?
We did.
You did.
Yeah, we had your summer passes and that stuff.
I was taught before. I get very sick on rides.
I do too.
You do.
Yeah, I can't. Nothing.
So what would you
But
do
I
at
go
Six
on
Flags? Just get sick?
Yeah, and walk around.
Yeah.
Meet girls.
Meet girls. Never. Literally, like, just hang out.
So, do you have siblings?
I do have 2 brothers.
So, was it like an artistic household,
No.
or were you just kind of the standout of like, no, I like this acting stuff?
I like the acting stuff. I never thought I would be able to make it in. It was a blue collar community. It was not really an option. So it wasn't sort of like. I mean, I like doing it, but I thought, okay, well, I'll be able to do this in community theater or whatever. But not. Career was never even on the radar.
You figured you'd have your construction job and then you'd do community theater, and that would be that.
Exactly. Yeah, do it on the side, and when I can, then probably whatever. There was no. When I was growing up, there was no thought that was going to be the thing.
So,
me.
have you ever had was there ever a game plan, like, here's my strategy going in, or was it, wow, this is somehow working, I'll just move on to the next thing?
It kind of evolved, and it was like, this is somehow working. And then when there was a point when I was going to City College where my dad walked in on me when I was going to go to school for engineering. I was going to transfer out to an engineering school. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was basically like, "Well, I'm doing my homework." He's like, "No, what are you doing?" He was like that, John Cusack can say anything. He's sort of like, really? You want to know right now?
This is the time we're having this conversation.
Kickboxing, sport of the future. I basically told him, I wanted to do acting, but I wasn't really an option. And he was like, "Well, why throw away your dream when you haven't even tried it?"
Wow.
Yeah. So I quit school the next day, which he was sort of like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah,
I
it's a
didn't
little-
say that.
I mean, like, finish this. Like,
Yeah,
what are you
literal.
doing? And then I applied to one school, which was Cal Arts, because I could not see myself going to a regular college. I just wasn't. I wasn't equipped for it at the time. I probably would have done fine later, but at the time was not equipped. And I got in and had an awesome time there. And it was incredibly beneficial to me.
Is your dad still living?
He is.
Oh, so he's seeing all your success.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
So how do you apply to, when you apply to, again, I never applied to a college. I went to Middlesex Community one semester. It didn't go well. So
No?
no.
That's
B
too
and
bad.
3 Fs. A dismal failure.
I nailed one of them.
Yeah,
What'd you
English.
get a B in?
English, and it was a gift.
Wall climbing, rock climbing. Right?
Isn't that great? The one professor is like, we're going to give Jimmy a B because we just want him to pass through, and all the other professors are going, this is clearly an F. It's not
They're
going to
like,
happen.
we don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah, I fucking flopped in in problems and statistics, Western civilization, and science or whatever it was.
Did you go to class and just fail everything?
Yeah,
or
kind of. I was terrible.
I love he doesn't even like. Most people are like, "No, I never went." He's like, "No, I was there every day.
Yeah.
I tried.
and I still failed."
You did try.
I wouldn't apply myself properly, but yeah, I did go. It was a high school / college courses because I dropped out of high school. So they were
I
like,
almost did. So that's where I was. I was taking remedial math. Well, not remedial math. Whatever it is, like the 101.
Yeah.
Whatever 99. Whatever's.
it's just, before we get to 101, we're not there yet.
101.
Yeah, because you hear all these stories about the high school kids taking college classes in high school.
Yep.
Yeah.
I took high school classes in college.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I need something that will transfer into high school that I can also use. And they're like, all right, well, these are for you, dope. They're kind of like you have your foot in high school and one foot in college.
So
You're
did
like,
you?
There's so many people in this class.
Yeah.
Did you end up failing the math class, which meant that you didn't get the high school credits either?
Oh, yeah. No
that sucks.
credits. No credits.
That sucks.
No high school credits. But maybe get my driver's license. So I would take the bus every day to Middlesex Community College, and I would miss it all the time. So finally, it motivated me to get a driver's license.
Silver lining.
There you go.
Yeah, there was a silver lining. So I got a driver's license. I was always very scared.
That's good. Did you move out to LA after college, or did you live out there at any point?
Moved out, finished my last year of high school, actually, in Riverside, California. Moved out to live with my dad.
Oh, so he moved out there.
Yeah.
That must have made it easier for you to get into acting.
It did. And that's probably, location was probably a huge part of it. Had I stayed in New Jersey, I don't, even though it's close to New York, obviously.
Well, Lakewood's far, though.
But, but we're closer to the city than,
Being in Ohio or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you doing theater first? Do you remember like the first theater shit you did?
First, elementary school. I remember my mom used to make costumes for me. I did like the Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz, and I was Bert in Mary Poppins.
Did you do a good Cowardly Lion?
I can. If I were king of a forest.
Listen to that voice.
As a kid, I was probably like,
If I were king of the forest! I just watched that again recently because I hadn't seen it in many, many years. And I forgot there was so much of a lead up before she got blown into Oz.
Yeah,
I forgot.
That's called establishing.
Well, we used to talk about, oh my God, well, it's going to turn to color. It's going to turn to color. That was the big thing. And a lot of people don't remember that. It started in black and white when she was in Kansas. And then that was like a huge
Oz,
thing at the time.
But it takes
Oz was in
forever to
color.
get to color.
Yeah,
finally.
like, for crying out loud, when are we going to get to Oz?
I forgot about that he meets the fucking wizard. She meets the wizard.
Everybody.
She taught. Now, are you supposed
That was probably by design, though, because they didn't want to have to colorize that much film.
Probably not.
They were just like, let's leave as much black and white as humanly
half black
possible.
and white, half color. Now when she's getting ready to be, she's like hanging out at the farm and fucking Aunt B, what's her name? Aunt May, Aunt B,
Probably Aunt B.
Bessie.
Aunt B was giving everybody shit and yelling at all the farm hands, and then you realize, that's the Cowardly Lion, that's the Scarecrow, that's the Tin Man.
Right.
Are you supposed to recognize them once you see them in Oz?
It's okay if you do.
I didn't. I remember, realizing it when she's like, and you were there, and you were there, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I remember going like, oh no, you're right.
Right.
Wait,
What
that
the
wasn't a
fuck?
Tin Man. That was that guy with silver paint
that
on.
was Uncle
What?
Charlie.
But they show them a lot first, so I'm wondering, are you supposed to recognize that or not? I don't remember.
It's okay if you do.
Probably.
I think it's okay if you don't, and you get you at the end. But if you do,
Got me at the end pretty good.
At the
It
end,
did.
Yeah.
It did. Did you do musical theater after?
I did so much musical
As an
theater.
adult?
As I thought I was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
No, not as an adult.
Just as like a.
No one has done more singing and dancing than me. Meaning someone who does not sing or dance.
Uh-huh.
I did so many musicals when
Did
I
you ever
because
do Les
that's all
Mis?
they were doing. We didn't do Les Mis.
Fuck.
We did. What did we do? Like Oklahoma and Pippin and Fiddler on the Roof and I mean.
Did you enjoy them?
Oh my God! Did I enjoy?
I don't
it?
care for musicals.
I didn't. No, I couldn't sing or dance.
It seems like you could because you got
Like-
cast in good roles.
When
I was in school,
I
I
did
did-
chorus. I was like the guy who was there, and then I was hanging lights in between.
Oh, so you weren't Bert and Mary Poppins for all the shows?
No, I was in the third grade doing that.
That you were good in third
That was
grade.
good. But when it got into adult stuff, I did a lot of musical theater with singing and dancing, which I do neither of.
I see. So you were not
Yeah,
great.
it was the
there.
only thing that was available.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Everyone's like, I'm going to Broadway. And I'm like, all right, see you later.
Hey, when you became a pro and this is what you're doing, was there anything that they wanted you to audition for that you didn't? That you're like, fuck.
But there's a couple things. After I did Band of Brothers, I was approached by pretty much any kind of military thing that came out, that was even close to my age or body type. And there were some things that were not done well, not researched well, that they were trying to get me to do. And I would not do something that represented the military in a way that was not accurate. I felt that having done Band of Brothers, that put the responsibility back on me because from now on, I bring something to the project that has the history of these men with it.
Yeah.
And there's a responsibility that I have to honor those men and those families. And whether it be real or imagined, for me, it's real.
So that was about. I remember it's been many. That was about like World War II.
Yeah.
And at the end, don't they show all the real guys talking?
Throughout. The whole
throughout,
thing started as a, it's about the 101st Airborne, and it's wrapped around the actual vets at the interviews that they did and the stories that they gave, and it's based on the book by Stephen Ambrose.
Don't all those guys too? Those guys like war veterans. They talk about the one thing that they wish. I've heard them say that, maybe not there, but they wish they had been able to talk about it when they got home. Because none of them talked about it. They were all quiet and just shut up about it.
Well, it was a different war. You know, when the Vietnam situation came afterwards, it was all about talking about it and discussing it. And I think that that's why we see this sort of raw emotion that comes out of it. With World War II, the sort of feeling was, okay, we basically. This is sort of the first time in a long time, anyway, that there was an actual enemy. We knew what evil was. It was Hitler. We defeated it. Okay, come home. We'll take care of you. We'll, give you loans, pay for your school, bury it. Let's not talk about that. Yeah. And they didn't, and I think that there was a lot of damage done because of that. Yeah,
because all this shit you do in war, and they had no one to talk to about it. So they just kind of swallowed it.
Yeah, we had many, many stories of families telling us, after the parents or the relatives saw Band of Brothers and watched it. The Foot Lockers came out and they would take out the uniforms and discuss like what they did, just talking about their buddies. It was pretty incredible to be part of that.
Yeah,
really incredible, actually.
Yeah, I mean, and that seems like the type of thing that if you can't talk about that, because the experience, and I think that's why when they're done right, shows and movies about the military and the experience is so compelling, is because it's so, even though it's for us and it's. These people are the people who are living right next to us. It is so foreign. That life is so foreign to anything that we exist through. It's incredible, and I don't think anybody can appreciate it unless they've actually lived it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's a different breed. People that just do what they're told. Like, I was reading something about, like, we were watching something about, it was like Navy SEAL training or whatever it was, or Team SEAL 6, whatever it was you go through in that. And, like, the fact is, like, they keep fucking with you. And at the end that you think you're done, like, all right, I graduated. And, like, all right, you got to go for a run. And it's a fucking like a 20-mile run.
It's like a 3-month run.
Yeah. You just got to run.
Pack your shit.
I've thought of that when I was on the treadmill. Like, how...
so you relate.
Well...
I see. Because sometimes your trainer will be like 5 more minutes, but it's really 7.
But I'm like, and like, literally, I don't think I can do 5 more minutes out of 10.
Right.
And like, what would I do if a guy told me to run 20 miles? I would just go, I'm done. I want to go home.
You would.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you're very far
that's
from...
why they got the bell.
Yeah.
You can go ring the bell.
I would literally ring it on the way in. I would hate it.
It's like, hey, guys, where's the bell?
Well, if you had been born in the greatest generation, they probably would have thrown you out.
They would have.
They probably would not have.
Peter Dinklage's father would have given me that speech that he gave him in Game of Thrones. Throw me in the fucking ocean.
Well, you're no longer in the military. You're no longer fighting zombies. Now you get to be a family man.
Be a family man.
Raising children in the 70s.
Yep.
And there are, you definitely you guys draw comparisons, not right on the nose, but pretty close. You're drawing comparisons, I feel like, to what's going on now when you bring up the Nixon stuff a little bit.
Oh, I think so. I think it's a great reminder, everyone, whatever, side of the aisle or, circle you sit on, everybody thinks like, this is the end. Like, this is the most horrible time we've ever been through. And the truth is, it's not. It's like,
it's happened.
It's happened before. It's happened many times before. And in the end, we do come out of it, and we do come out of it stronger. And I think it's a, very hopeful, loving, sort of look back at where we were and comparing it to where we are, without punching you in the head with it.
That's a very good perspective on it too, because there are people that feel like maybe because we're inundated with content more now than we ever have been, that every time things are going bad, we're in the end of days, and it's never been this bad.
And it's the
realistically,
same content.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like over and over again. It's like you hear something, if you catch something when it first comes out, it's a headline, you're like, oh my gosh, this bus blew up. And then then my dad will be like 4 days later, oh my God, did you hear a bus just blew up?
Right.
I'm like, wait, no, that was not that it makes it okay that a bus blew up, but everything is like so layered and happening on this, repeating cycle, and it's over and over again. And it's like everybody's, if you really sat down, you could sort of make a list of 10 things, and everybody's list would be the same 10 things of like, shitty things that have happened in the past month.
Right.
And it's not like there's 1,000 things. It's like, no, there's these 10 things that are on blast. So like, turn off your phone, turn off the news feed, like get away from it for a minute, and you realize everything's not so bad.
Talk to the people that are just next to you, like that are just hanging out with you. Yeah,
a bus did just blow up. Actually, it was I think it might have been the driver might have been killed, but it was like a gas explosion. There's footage of it in Sweden or something. It was really weird. The bus just exploded, but it wasn't an attack.
Well, most of us aren't going online searching for bus explosion videos.
I didn't look for it. It was just there. It hit me in the head.
The bus?
The bus?
No.
Yeah.
There it is.
Too easy.
No, I didn't. We got it in our news feed. Yeah, you guys sent it to me. There it is. It just fucking just going and you're reading the ad and it blows
the bus
up.
blows up.
And it blows up.
Some kind of a natural gas thing, and then the guy films his leg. Good job,
And he
asshole.
happened to be filming him behind him just for no reason.
Why would you film a bus for no reason?
That'd be the first guy I'd talk to. I'm just saying, I'm not a cop. I played one on TV, but that guy, I would want to talk to him first.
What was 11th floor? 11th hour.
11th hour. What was 11th hour? That was it's like a medical drama. I think about like it would be like the CDC. There was everybody was going to die unless they figured it out. And it was like typical 1 hour drama. Like, it's all tragic for 59 minutes, and then the heroes, the leads of the show, go, "I figured it out."
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, but I think it had to do with communicable diseases and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. What year is that?
That's that's why I'm asking, because it's just such a random thing in the middle. Like,
I don't even know that I remember it. Like, what's the 11th hour? It's after the 10th and before the 12th.
What year was that?
It was 2009. You played Ben Finney.
Of course I did.
Yeah. Sometimes Jim likes to have the IMDb printed out so he can just point to random things and go, "What's this?"
I love it though, because like when you're doing it, it's the most important thing in the world. Like when you're auditioning for stuff, you're like, "Fuck, I got this! I'm so psyched!" And you're getting there, and that's your whole world is that day, and then it's just so unimportant.
It becomes
10
a
years
blip.
later.
I don't know. I'll remember stuff. I'm probably setting myself up for failure right now, but I'll remember like stuff that came, and sometimes the character name will just come back, and the whole event will come back because it is so intense. I had a buddy who, Frank John Hughes, who's a writer, terrific actors in Band of Brothers as well. And he said, as a guest actor, you're like required to basically knock it out of the park every time.
Right.
So like if you're in a regular cast, you come in and you can be sick or you can have a bad day and you get home, they rearrange your schedule. But as a guest cast, you're like, you got to crush it every time. And if you look at like the Baseball Hall of Fame, you got to like be good 50% of the time and you're in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Like if you're a 500 player, it's like, oh my God, like you're amazing. But as a guest actor, like 500 gets you fired.
Right.
Sure.
Like every time.
You have to do well every time.
So they tend to be the intense, sort of really emotionally laden roles, where all the guest cast gets to, knock their brains out and the regulars sort of contemplate, interesting.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you, Matteo.
He's so great. I love Matteo.
Let's bring in Sean Evans.
Of course, Sean Evans from First We Feast's Hot Ones on YouTube, but I don't even have to tell you that.
Yeah,
I mean,
people know
the
who he
show
is.
is so big at this point that
Oh,
You
thank
know,
you.
it
How
goes
are you,
without
man?
saying.
Good to see you, man.
Nice to
What's
see
going
you.
on, Sean?
Chilling. How are you guys doing?
Good. Welcome to the show. It's amazing that did you ever have a desire? Because before you did Hot Ones, you were a reporter, like you were a journalist, and you were doing interviews and everything. But did you ever have a desire to be like a host type, where this is my show?
Yeah, I mean, I was a broadcast journalism major and grew up watching late night shows, Loveline, Howard Stern. So there was always a part of me that thought maybe I could do this if ever I got the opportunity. But then, as you guys know, it's hard to get those opportunities. It's not like you just apply for that job. But backed into it by kind of just taking advantage of every little assignment somebody gave me, and then it's sort of ballooned into this thing. So in a lot of ways, like I have right now, everything I've kind of wanted to have and work with people that are amazing. So in some ways, that's true, definitely.
Getting the opportunities is hard, but the beauty is when I've gotten them, I've failed. So it's always nice to make something out of it.
Right. That makes you feel better because you realize a lot of people stress about getting opportunities. For you, it doesn't matter if you get them or not.
No, it doesn't matter. So when I don't get them,
It's
it's not. Look, this would have been done already anyway. It's 2 weeks. I would have already fucked this up in the pilot. So how many things had you done before this? Because this is like so successful. Were there other ones you did that just didn't work?
No, well, it was usually just sort of straight Q&A interview stuff, just packaging these digital interviews just over and over and over again, doing stuff for print, whether it's like digital or magazines or whatever. But this definitely blew up. But it wasn't like this straight out the gate big hit. You know, like our first couple of seasons, it was really a struggle to get views, and sometimes I was like, wow, I'm really eating a lot of spicy stuff for
no reason.
for no reason at all.
And it's probably really difficult to get. I mean, now it's easy to get guests, I would imagine, because you're doing millions of views. But when you're not doing millions of views and you're just a guy, you do.
Yeah, you basically have to trick people. And you know, early on, that was the thing. We would just show up if Complex is doing a cover shoot with an artist like Tinashe or something. We would just basically crash that shoot and then say that we have this add-on. We have this show where we eat chicken wings during the interview. Would you be interested? And then we were able to get a lot of people to just fall in that way by just going behind other people doing things and collecting those crumbs and then just sort of making this show work. And it is a lot easier to book now, but there is that caveat of having to eat scorching hot chicken wings, which does turn some people off.
It still stops some people?
Yeah, I mean, 50 Cent, for example, that's somebody who I think was made in a laboratory exactly for our show, and I can't get him to budge. You know,
he doesn't want to do it, or is it the wings he doesn't want to do?
It's, you know, whatever. It's muddy. You don't really know that situation. But like him, for example, you know, but there's these white whales that we're always trying to catch. And even I think YouTube has a certain, you know, whatever. If you're an established star, maybe even think of that. Oh, I'd rather do Fallon or Colbert or something. Even
it's like the podcast thing that people still are kind of attached to, not realizing that YouTube shows and podcasts are doing the same numbers, if not better.
Smoking some of those shows.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but I think that people are starting to understand that more and more, and then that has all happened as the show's blown up, so we've definitely benefited from that.
So you do like, what's the pepper that they said you ate that's like the hottest pepper?
The Carolina Reaper.
That's the hottest one?
Well, what's funny about these pepper guys is they're all like architects that are trying to make the tallest building, and they're highly competitive, and they're all over the world, and they're all engineering these crazy peppers. So the Carolina Reaper pepper was the hottest pepper forever. And then some farmer in Wales did like the Dragon's Breath chili. And then the guy who grew the Carolina Reaper, who also grows Pepper X, which we have in our 10th hottest sauce, he basically had this war chest, and he was waiting for somebody to like dunk on him so he can dunk on him back.
Oh, he was ready.
Yeah, he was ready for it. And maybe he is for generations and generations to come. Like, who knows what's in the war chest? But it's same with like all these guys. They're all like mad scientists.
Well, can this guy actually eat the peppers that he makes?
Yes, like a snack, like it's candy.
Oh, he can,
He'll
yeah.
just pop it up like it's popcorn, catch it in his mouth.
Now, how does science determine which one is a real, the hottest pepper? Is it just reaction, or is there a way to actually tell?
So there is a Scoville scale, which is a measure of capsaicin per unit or something. So they can actually quantify it on a scale like you would voltage or whatever else. So
for those that don't know, I mean, Hot Ones obviously is Sean's show that's on YouTube, and it's Sean, and he sits down with a celebrity, and they eat 10 chicken wings that are progressively hotter and hotter as, you know, you do this like extremely well-researched interview, you know, that people are struggling to get through, because by the time they get to wing number 6 or 7, everybody is tearing up at the eyes and everything. You, though, you come from this world, like we said, of journalism and reporting. So the interview part was something that you were doing before you got here. But now, like Jim is asking you questions, you're kind of expected at this point to be an expert on hot wings, as if that's the passion. But you were not a hot wings guy before.
No, or even hot sauce. You know, It's not like I had this ability to eat super spicy food and then was like, this needs to be a show.
Yeah,
you know, that was never the thing. We were just trying to solve for a problem. Like, celebrity interviews are boring. How do we make them not boring? Or solve for that hot sauce. But that has definitely happened, and we've seen the craft hot sauce thing explode because of the show in a lot of ways and going mainstream. And now I feel like every time you pass a fast food restaurant, you'll see some new spicy fries or spicy chicken thing. And so it's crazy. I always thought people would be more interested in the interviews and like what comes out of it. And people just want to talk about hot sauce and wings and take me out for wings all the time. That's just what's happening.
Has anyone thrown up doing it?
Yeah, we've run the gamuts. We've had people spit in buckets, half pass out, sleep in the green room afterwards.
Who slept in the green room?
Coolio slept in the green room
Well,
afterwards.
there may have been other
He might
reasons for
still
that.
be there. He might still be there.
I don't think that was the wings.
But it was funny because we used to do the show actually like a block away on 50th Street, and it was in the middle of an office. So you'd always have people responding to emails and stuff, and then Riff Raff in a peach suit would like throw his shoulder through the door, make a sprint for the bathroom, and I'd have people talk to me like, I came out of the stall and saw Riff Raff just dry heaving into the sink. So those are the stories that
it does make people sick.
Yeah.
What do they drink, milk?
Milk, water.
Well, that's like the lifeline, though, right?
Right. Ice cream. People, Tyra Banks brought ice cream. We've had Charlize Theron delivered white rice to the suite that we were shooting in. You know, everybody has an anecdote. Gordon Ramsay recently stopped by Bristol Farms before the interview, picked up lemon juice, lime juice, donuts, everything.
The Gordon Ramsay one was great because Gordon Ramsay was the first, and this is something that I think about when I'm watching the show. And I haven't seen every single episode, but I think Gordon Ramsay was one of the few that pointed out that the wing, he was complaining about the wing itself.
Right.
Like, not the sauce. He was like, there's no meat on this bone. This is an awful chicken wing, which is the most Gordon Ramsay thing he could do. You know?
Right. And we expected that. I had a lot of anxiety about it the night before, you know.
But is he was he before that one of those white whales?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, right when we put up the first episode, we had all the, in the comments, from episode 1 until we finally got him, the top comments would always be like, get Gordon Ramsay, get Gordon Ramsay, get Gordon Ramsay. And then that bled over into my real life. I'd just be walking the streets. I'd be in an airport and people would be like, when's Gordon Ramsay? Hey, chicken wing guy, when's Gordon Ramsay going to be on the show? So I felt like there was an albatross around our neck forever. Yeah. And then we finally got him. And I think that he understood the same pressure because he was getting the same stuff if he sent out a tweet, when he going on Hot Ones, whatever. And eventually the whole world pressured us into that room.
Well, you guys had to be happy with the way it came out. I mean, I was looking at it last night. I think he did them all.
He did them all.
And it's done 30 million views.
Right.
So, I mean, it's really tough to say that it didn't succeed on every level, right?
It did. And, you know, sometimes we know a hit. You know, it's like a singer that goes into the booth and knows when they have a hit. Sometimes we walk out of that room and we know that went well, and we knew there'd be ridiculous expectations for it. We threw the kitchen sink at him, and he was such a good sport. When we walked out, we're like, that was really good internet. How
are the interviews too? Like, 'cause I know you like to do the interviews. So, like, do people tell you more? Because sometimes celebrities are fucking weird with giving up information. They don't want to talk. Oh, it was a fun project. Do you get more out of them because you're doing something else?
I think that you're trapped on the show, and then every person who does press, whatever, they do the rounds. As you guys know, there's this PR-driven flight pattern that everyone's kind of in. And I think that the wings are disruptive and stimulating, and then you're stuck on this show, and you're probably not thinking about your guardrails when you're eating some of the hottest chicken wings in the history of the world. But at the same time, I think that we're not even that kind of show. You know, like, we're not really trying to poke the bear all that much because
it's not a clickbait show. Really,
right.
I mean, what's great about the show is that there's less pressure on you to get something newsworthy because the headline is, watch this big celebrity eat these really hot wings.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the secret of our success has been in combining those things, because you already have this ridiculous spectacle, super famous people eating scorching hot chicken wings on the internet, and then hopefully combining it with this career spanning, thoughtful interview. When those two things go together, I think that's why the show has lasted now 8+ seasons, 150 episodes.
How long in between each wing do people usually wait?
It varies person to person. That's what's kind of crazy too, because it's a revolving door of guests, and then everybody handles spicy food differently. If we all went out for curry after this, you know, Jim, you might get through it no problem. Sam, you might be sweating your face off. I might be puking in a garbage can next to me. So, you know, we have some guests come in and they're like, it just wasn't hot enough. And then some guests just be on like death's door. So it's a big range.
Did that pepper, when you ate that pepper, what did it do to you?
It was like giving myself food poisoning for 12 hours. It was insane. It was so stupid. And then I swore I'd never do it again. And then I did do it again with the same dude, Chili Klaus. But I remember that first time I did it, I was like, something is seriously wrong. I went to a cab, stopped at a CVS, just bought a whole gallon of milk. And then I went on my couch, cranked the AC, put on some basketball shorts, and I would just be dumping the milk in my mouth and then just holding it in there till it was hot. And then I'd spit it out and would just do that for hours.
So can it do anything really fucked up to you, or is it just unpleasant?
I can do something fucked up to you. I mean, sometimes I see these headlines because our fans always tag me in them. It's like, Wales man chokes on scorching hot pepper and scorches his lungs. You know, whatever. Like every bizarre. I'm just making that up, but every bizarre.
I'm so stupid.
Yeah, you really
and
got lost in the story.
He could have said anything. Genitals fall off. Oh, terrible!
Spontaneously combusts on hot peppers.
Troy, can you find that Wales man? I need to know more.
You got to have him on the show. So whatever. There are some things, but I went to a doctor recently because I was somewhat worried. It was one of these things where I didn't want to go to the doctor because I'm like, they're going to tell me I have 100 ulcers and that if I do one more show, I might die and then just take away my heat. you know?
Right.
So I'm like, I'm going to strike while the iron's hot mode. I can't have a doctor doing that to me. So I guess I just avoided it forever. But finally, I was like, all right, I'm going to be a responsible adult. I'm going to go do this. They hooked me up to everything. I was like, every blood test, every scan, everything that you can do, you know? And they hooked me up. And then my doctor called me up. Totally clean bill of health. So my numbers
God.
are outstanding across the board. So maybe they're making me stronger, these wings.
Now, do you go out of your way to eat healthy outside of this because you need to maintain yourself so that you can do this?
Yeah.
So this is a lifestyle at this point.
It is.
Yeah.
And you have to think about that. And even the way the travel goes and whatever, I think you have to take care of yourself more. So people always think that I want to eat wings all the time. They want to take me out for wings. I'll go to this hot sauce expo and everyone's like, this is the devil's blood. You have to try it. Everybody thinks that I'm just trying to up the ante every time I turn a corner. But when I'm not working, it's a lot of juice. It's a lot of cereal. It's a lot of just taking it easy.
Yeah, I'm sure the last thing you want to eat is wings. That's all you eat. Who the fuck wants to eat
never.
them?
If I'm off the clock, I don't want to eat wings. Let the record show. I like to put that out in the world.
But people always, it's like me, they want to tell jokes too. They're like, dude, try it. No, trust me. I know a hot wing.
All right.
Or, you know, comedians that'll bring a beer on stage or whatever, and then everyone wants to buy them shots.
Yeah.
It's like that. I have that existence.
Well, they're secretly
Unless you-
hoping for a meltdown. That's why they buy the comic shots, because they're hoping that you get drunk and fuck up, and it's a great, you know, they're hoping for a Michael Richards set.
Unless you're Bert Kreischer and you just say yes every time.
Every
They
time.
buy
And
you
then
drinks
you
and then you go,
just make it,
okay,
and then-
okay, yeah, we'll do it, yeah.
That's a good Bert.
It really is, right? Yeah, but that's when drinking is a part of your thing. I guess it just doesn't affect you. And if you get drunk, it's like, all right, well, that's just Bert's. That's Bert's thing.
That's Bert's thing.
Yeah.
Who got sick the fastest, or who had the worst reaction to it?
Well, Eddie Wong famously started in reverse order to just subvert the form, and that was a mistake.
That's
He'd tell you
cocky.
now.
That's
That is
cocky.
cocky.
Yeah.
It is cocky. So he started at 10. So that was a crazy shoot because it was like we fired up the cameras, and usually it takes a while before people are like, ooh, and then you see the sort of step-by-step gradual evolution towards that. But Eddie started with the first one, so it was like we fired up the cameras, introduced him, then he's eating the hottest camera, and all of a sudden he's doing laps around the studio, asking where the bathroom is, sweating his face off. You know?
Wow! It's
Yeah.
not, so he thought that he tried to get it out of the way and then work your way into something a little easier.
Yeah,
I get
like
the
building the
something
tolerance.
different.
Yeah.
and it didn't work.
It did not work at all.
So what was the episode when you knew we are really onto something? This isn't just a hobby. This isn't just a side thing. Like, this is going to be big.
Right. Well, like I said in the beginning, you know, when it first started out, maybe we'd wake up, it would just have low view numbers, but the people who watched it liked it. That's how I knew if we get more people in the tent, this will be a big show.
We're onto
because
something, yeah.
we keep the same people week over week over week who are like, this is going to explode. This is the best show. So that really fueled us early on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first episode that we ever did where we woke up in the morning and it was 5 million views, #1 story, trending, blah, 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 was when we had Key and Peele in. And that was just something that worked, I guess. They were doing press for Keanu, I remember. We crashed the junket, shot with Key and Peele, put it out, and that was the first episode that just totally blew up and then helped us level up, and it's kind of just been a runaway train since then.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have any, and yeah, I'm not going to ask you for names, but do you have any, you said you know when it's like this is internet gold?
Yeah.
Do you have interviews that you've done and the whole thing's over and you've gone through all the wings and you're like, that was a dud? What are we going to do with this?
I mean, it's happened a couple of times. Famously, if fans are thinking, like, if a fan was in here, they'd talk about the DJ Khaled episode where he only ate 2 or 3 wings and then bowed out. You know,
you're like,
Found out he didn't do the interview, or he left.
he stayed there, but he's like, I'm not eating any more wings. And
you're like DJ Khaled. Like the whole point is so you could do your catchphrases and eat very hot wings,
right, and I knew
be in
right
your
away-
tracksuit.
I knew right away that it was going to go that way because when he came in, he's holed up in the studio and he was just crushing slices of pizza. So I'm like, why is this guy eating pizza before we're about to eat 10
Yeah, why?
chicken
Is he
wings?
trying to coat his stomach?
I don't know what the move was. I don't know if it was a strategy or if he was hungry or what.
Just wanted some pizza.
But then he bowed out. But to me, I really like that episode because it's such an outlier and it's so strange from a viewing experience perspective than like every other episode. So
I mean, it does say a
fans
lot
don't
about
like it, but
it
I
says a
love
lot
it.
about DJ Khaled because most people try to come on and impress you and impress the audience and want to be the ones that go
Yeah.
far. DJ Khaled is so impressed with himself.
He was like,
that
fuck all that.
Yeah, he just doesn't see the need.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Which I almost respect. Which I almost respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to eat the whole wing or just part of it?
It varies,
Are you strategizing?
I'm just curious,
How you
yeah.
handle
For
something
us-
like this?
Yeah, we're not like the Olympics. You know, I think that if we started putting strict rules on it and hitting people with like the house rules and then introducing them, and it would get like competitive and weird.
Sure.
And then like who's the referee that's like, that's not enough of the wing to qualify.
Yeah.
So for us, and people are all different. Some people, you know, we've had guests that are 70 years old and stuff. Like, I wouldn't even feel good about them crushing.
Who have you had on those 70?
Jeff Goldblum, Al
Jeff
Roker.
Goldblum is
That's depressing.
Jeff Goldblum is a young 70 though.
He is
That's
a young
crazy
70.
that
He's a
Jeff
spry
Goldblum is 70.
Yeah. Looks
Wow.
great for
He's
70.
a fascinating guy.
Sharp too.
Yeah, so for us, whatever. If you take a bite, you take a bite. If you clean the wing, the audience seems to respect that more. And
Yeah, I
some
mean,
people
I
understand
do.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do like the people who come in who don't know anything about the show and are just like, I'm gonna crush all these chicken wings. I'm cleaning them all, because they're taking it as a real challenge.
Uh-huh.
But if somebody comes in and they aren't like that, and they're just giving the interview, biting, and still struggling, you know, if you just take a bite out of that hot sauce, you'll really feel it. So to us, it's not that important how much of the wings.
You don't care. It's more the reaction and if they're trying to do it.
Right. I think that if somebody nibbles and they're like, I'm cool, I'm chill, this is fine, blah, 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 it's not even hot, then that to me is kind of lame. But
Right.
if they're at least trying, I'm cool with it.
What's an acceptable? You said after 3 is no good. What's an acceptable amount to get through where you're like, all right, this is a good interview, even if he can't do anymore?
To me, it varies person to person. So I think that if you commit and you try and you're into it, if you bow out at 6 or 7 or 8, we had Lil Yachty on the show, and he'd never had hot sauce before in his entire life. That's what he said in the intro. And he's like, I want to be here today because I've never had hot sauce in my life, and this is how I want to do it. Which I think, like, one of our commenters compared to trying to learn how to swim at Niagara Falls. Yeah. And so he went in and he actually made it to 8, which is further than most people who bow out in the show do. So to me, that was an awesome performance by Lil Yachty. You know, you can't. You can't mark him down on
Probably
that.
burns your lips. That fucking burn you get on your lips when you eat hot sauce. Oh.
And imagine experiencing that for the first time on a show under camera lights in front of a crew. You know,
With
that must
the
be a bizarre
hottest of hot
experience.
wings,
the
right?
hottest chicken wings in the world.
Now, when Lil Xan went to the hospital and said it was for flaming Cheetos, did you hear that story?
I did hear
he was
that
eating all
story.
the flaming
Definitely got
Cheetos,
tagged in that.
and
Yeah.
he went to the hospital. Are you going like, this is not good for business? If people are going to the hospital for eating flaming Cheetos, what is this going to mean for wings?
I immediately was like, this story's fake. You know, nobody
Yeah.
goes to the
No, they
hospital
don't.
for flaming hot Cheetos. And I think it's semi-soft, right?
Uh-huh.
A bag of flaming hot Cheetos,
Not a big deal.
I don't care where you're at. If that sends you to the hospital, that's
No.
on you, I feel like.
Yeah, you just felt unpleasant and panicked. That's what that is.
You think
just
that's what
feel
that was?
Yeah. You got a little tummy ache and you're like, get a doctor.
Plus,
I
your
feel
name's Lil Xan.
Right.
So what? Xanax, cool, but
Flaming hot
flaming
Cheetos.
hot Cheetos, that's what puts you in the hospital?
Part of me feels like he did not go to the hospital and Flaming Hot Cheetos decided to pay for a story to break, and
That's what I
everybody
think.
went with it.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you think that was a thing
think-
by the company?
Yeah, that was a
It's-
windowless room filled with cigar smoke, Illuminati situation.
Yeah. Who's been the most competitive on the show? Like, who comes in and you're like, you need to relax because
You
it's
know-
just me and you here. You don't need to be like this.
Well, athletes all have
yeah.
the same mentality. Every time we have an athlete on, they always have that. Even
Play to
we
win.
had, I think next week's episode is Jimmy Butler, and even when he took the milk, he's like, "How much milk do I drink?" You know, they're very serious about.
don't wanna break the rules, yeah.
They're very serious about the rules, and then even you see it in their face. They're like, 4 more. You know, it's like they're in the weight room. It's like they're like, one more set.
There's a
one more
goal.
set.
There's a way to achieve the goal. There's a way to pace yourself. Yeah.
And there's mentally a way to hack that, I guess, for them.
Yeah, I'm not competitive. Like, I just give up quickly.
You
Like,
would
in
if it got-
man-to-man competition. You know what I mean? If I see the guy and he's bigger than me,
Yeah.
I'm like, congrats.
I understand that.
you got this. So if you're sitting there, you would be the DJ Khaled of this. If you're like, you know what, this isn't as
Yeah,
pleasant
Jim,
as I
how
thought.
would you
Nah.
approach it?
I don't know. I mean, I would try to do more than 3, but I don't know. I mean, I
But
would
maybe not.
No, and if I just puked, I puked. But I mean, I would prefer not to puke.
Right? You
But
think
would
you'd
you
puke?
go
It might
full
happen.
throttle?
Really?
I don't know.
Are you not good with spicy food?
I don't know. I don't know if I am or not. I know I got a very sensitive stomach. I'm very bad on planes. I get motion sick. I won't eat sushi before I fly because I'm afraid of getting queasy. I
In
hate
the
being
same way,
queasy.
in the same way that athletes are competitive, comedians are neurotic.
Yeah,
Right.
you're right.
Right.
That's what I've noticed with the wings.
Now, would you try to do, Jim and I, we won't spoil it for anybody. We filmed a certain television show that takes place in a bar that needs help recently, and we did have to work around the fact that Jim it doesn't drink. So we had to figure
Sure.
something out.
We told them when we arrived. By the way, we're doing a bar
Oh,
show.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
drink alcohol.
We didn't tell
I think I guess on the headset. Fucking pussy.
We didn't tell them in advance, no. But do you? Would you try to say like, look, I'm kind of on a health kick right now. I don't really eat wings. Is there something else?
No, yeah, just
maybe do like a deep fried cauliflower.
celery on the spices. No, you got to do it to show it, but I don't know how many. I don't know. My stomach can be at times very tricky.
It can.
It can. Yeah.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
Yeah, dude, right on the bowl.
But would you go full throttle? Would you push yourself?
Yeah, I
to
would
that
try.
limit?
Of course, I don't know how many I could do, but I would try. I wouldn't want to be lame.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to be. But I'm not an athlete either. I say to the surprise of no one. There's no reason to say that, but I wouldn't be able to regiment it. Like I'm going to do 6. I'm going to do 8.
Right.
Those guys have the ability to push themselves beyond where I do. That's why they're athletes.
As successful as the show is, do you get like? Are there any points where you get worried, like, oh my God, like all they need to do is just get some guy who can ask questions and eat hot wings? They're going to replace me, or do you realize, the fans watch the show because I'm the host of the show? Like, do you have that confidence, or are you like many of us that go, I'm very replaceable, and they're going to figure this out soon?
It's a little bit of both, where I think that anybody that's doing something in entertainment, you always feel like you're going to lose it
Yeah.
and never get it back. But I also think this is my baby. I'm obsessed with the show and have been since the beginning. And
I mean, that's pretty clear when you look at how it's like branded and how kind of big and beyond just a YouTube show it's gotten.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that, whatever. If somebody wants to eat these scorching hot chicken wings and commit to the show like I do and then make it a better show, then I would just tip my cap to that. But I don't think it would happen.
You'd pull a Jim Norton and bow out.
I'd hand over the reins. But to me, whatever. I've had such a freakish drive with this show, and I've been with it since the beginning, and I know it, and I know the audience, and the way that I spend almost like every waking hour, whether it's travel, whether it's research, whether it's doing the show or in post, the way that I just helicopter parent this show and the way that I've committed to it, and I do have confidence in myself as a host and interviewer. I'm not worried about. I wouldn't worry about that. I don't think anybody would make it a better show, honestly.
What are you a fan of? Because you have athletes, musicians, actors, wrestlers, comedians. They've all done it, and every interview is heavily researched, like we
Right.
just said. And none of it comes across like you're not informed about the person that's on and what it is that they do. But what kind of those categories is, okay, we're in my wheelhouse. This is going to be this is a layup.
Well, I think that part of what's made the show work is that I have a hobby with walking a mile in someone else's shoes. So to me, the process is a hobby, and the hobby, it's both ways. Where I like, if we're going to interview someone and I know a week in advance, I like that. I'll listen to their album, I'll read their book, I'll watch their shows, I'll listen to their stand-up, I'll do whatever and totally immerse myself in that world for as much time as I have before the interview. And I actually enjoy that. I would do that for free, and did do the show for free for a long time. But so to me, that is whatever. I'm into the process. I like hanging out by pools when I'm in LA. I like going out. I like hanging out with my friends. I watch a lot of college football, hype for the tournament. I have those sorts of interests and hobbies, but to me, I just do love the process of the show. And then just being intellectually curious has made the show. I think that's what's made the interviews so authentic in that regard.
What made you want to do journalism at all? Like,
I think about this sometimes, but I just started out by listening to the radio. So even when I was in junior high, I'd have tapes of Howard Stern. I'd listen to Loveline constantly. Every night I'd go home. I'd leave parties to go listen to Loveline. And I think part of me just wanted a radio show or wanted to be like those guys. My dad, he'd watch Letterman every night. When my mom was out on work trips or whatever, I could like stay up late and watch Letterman with my dad, and he would explain the jokes to me every time the audience laughed. So I think that there was all of that combined with, that nature nurture mix, and I think that's why I pursued it. I wanted to do broadcast journalism because I wanted to make videos on campus and have it go towards my degree, and then took off from there.
What did your parents do?
My mom was a paralegal. My dad's a judge.
So,
oh wow.
Wow. So when this show starts, obviously it's not the thing
Right.
from the beginning, but when this starts to become the thing, how long did it take these people who have these high esteemed professions to
Right.
process the fact that the majority of their son's income is going to be coming in from the Hot Wings show?
Yeah. Well, it's a weird thing because, my dad doesn't watch YouTube. So to say I'm moving to New York to be on YouTube.
Right, because your dad's sitting there watching Letterman. You're like, I'm going to have my own show. He's saying, what channel is it on? And you're saying...
The internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the computer. Watch it on your phone, Dad.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. The thing that anybody can have a show on, I'm going to have a big show on that
I'm going to
thing.
have a show.
Yeah.
And then, so he was it was a bit of a head scratcher maybe, but he was super supportive. And I think once we started getting people on that he knew, like Ricky Gervais, for example, then he was like, oh, this is kind of cool and this is awesome. And then, when I was on Colbert, because he was such a Letterman fan, to be in the Ed Sullivan Theater and have Colbert spitting milk on the stage at the Ed Sullivan Theater, I think that was validating for me and him.
And how crazy is that to not only, it's validating enough to be invited to be on Colbert's show, but he wants to do your bit on his show. You're like, we've created a monster here.
I think of it as ludicrous. It's completely ridiculous. This dumb idea that we had, to see it grow the way it has, and that was such a milestone for us. And then I remember just the way they have a food artist displaying the wings, and how it's so, those shows are really like a Swiss Army night. The way that everybody's working together, it looks great. It's like a kitchen in a 3-star Michelin restaurant or something, the way that everybody's moving around. So even when they were laying out that table, the way that the band was playing when you walk by, and then we just walk to this table and eat scorching hot chicken wings on CBS. It was ridiculous. It was insane.
Is your father like a no-nonsense guy?
No, he's got a good sense of humor. And I think when you're a judge, I think it makes you, because people are always like, oh, could you never get away with a lie, blah, blah, blah. But I got away with like a million things, sneak out of the house, like whatever, all the time. Because I think maybe when that's your 9 to 5, maybe you kind of want to just go home and get your ass kicked by your kids and stuff. You don't want to be regulating all the time.
When you were a kid, are you like not worried about getting arrested because your dad's a judge?
Well, I think that I was just good at avoiding that detection. I think I was I'm moving in the shadows or whatever. But the funny thing is that friends would call me all the time. When they got like scooped up with something, or they'd be like calling the house and be like, "Hey, can you ask your dad?" But kind of not say it's me. In these roundabout like drinking tickets, caught with weed or whatever. They'd always call my house to ask for legal advice.
Would he help?
Yeah, he'd kind of be like, just casually. Yeah,
if he knew the guy.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to do law?
No, never. And my parents didn't seem to want me to either.
How come?
I don't know.
They just realized that it was hard work and probably isn't going to pay off, so skip it.
They never pushed in any direction that way. They were just they were chill about it.
I wanted to be a lawyer. A comedy first, but then I was like, that's never going to happen. So in high school, I kind of wanted to be a lawyer. After Injustice for All, watching Al Pacino, I'm like, that's like a great job.
But what's ironic? You graduating from law school probably has less of a chance of happening than having a career in stand-up.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, that was pointed out to me quickly when I dropped out of high school. You know how it is, rehab.
Yeah, my parents, they were, you want to think it's supportive, but I know, I looked on their face when I got into Syracuse, the shock that was on the face of both of them, and they're, well, yeah, you got to go, let's go. Like they realized Syracuse is going to figure out that they made a horrible mistake here.
It's clerical error.
Why would you get into this school? Yeah, they sent me away, so it was probably the same thing. They were like, this law school thing, it's not for you.
Yeah, or not, you don't need to.
Right.
So what did you do in journalism besides, I know you wrote for was it travel?
Yeah, so that was my job after I left, after I graduated college. I ended up working at this agency that it's not super interesting, but like out of market advertising for destinations. And I was in Chicago. So I worked for the Chicago tourism agency, where we do, if you ever go on a subway and you'll see like visit Montana or whatever, and there's like a picture of a buffalo or something, we would do that, but for Chicago. So I was doing that, but then on nights and weekends and basically all my free time, I was just doing freelance articles, like just keeping my eye of the tiger, interviewing like local chefs or athletes, whatever. If somebody wanted to do a Derrick Rose feature or whatever, I might be like the local guy who would do that. So I was just doing that. Ended up doing some stuff in New Orleans for All-Star Weekend, where we had all these cool interviews lined up, and it was right when Complex launched their YouTube channel. So they were like, hey, can we just send cameras because we need to start uploading videos? So can we put these interviews on camera? And I didn't have any big dreams or anything. I was like, yeah, that would be the coolest thing ever to just have a 2 Chainz interview on YouTube. I thought I'd peak there, and that would be the coolest thing that I did. And then they liked him enough.
Cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
And then they liked him enough to offer me a full-time job. So I sold all my shit. I quit my job, left Chicago. I was in New York 30 days later, and that was almost like 5 years ago to the day.
So when you're writing copy, you're a copy editor for these travel, but you have to get people interested in like one quick shot, right? You have to write. So what do you write for Chicago that makes people go, fuck, I want to go there?
Well, the key is to just go to Millennium Park, take a picture of that bean thing, and then just be like, you're home now or something. And then just put that in an airplane magazine, and then you're good to go.
So, and you did some that they rejected, where they were like, "That's a terrible. No one's going to come here because of that."
Yeah, well, what we used to do, I think, is
Chicago. They rioted. No,
that's not going to help us at all.
Is I'd make whatever we do. Basically, what you do is you do like 10 different versions of the same thing, and then throw them up there, and then have somebody pick one. And then you feel like you have your bases covered.
Okay, so you've done a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I would just show the Willis Tower. I mean, the Sears Tower. That's just kind of what I like about Chicago.
Look how tall this is.
Yeah, fucking high, right?
Yeah.
I
You
love
go to
those.
the top.
Did you ever go to those those things, those glass things where you look down?
I can't do that. One of my earliest memories is going to the top of the Sears Tower, back when it was called the Sears Tower, and taking that view in. I do remember that, and I must have been like 3 or 4 years old at the time. But I never went in any of those boxes. I don't think I have the stomach for that. Stomach for hot wings, not for that.
I thought it would be fine. I went out because it's a glass box. Like little kids go in there. Everybody does. And it wasn't until the minute you were there. It wasn't until the minute that I stepped in, and I like collapsed. Like I could not.
Your knees started shaking.
Everything.
And your stomach dropped.
Everything. I had to hold on to everything around me.
But you did step out.
Yeah, I did really quickly and then right back in. It was really embarrassing.
You realize how much it would suck to fall that far. Dude, I read something about a guy who jumped off the
I
stairs.
had actually figured that earlier, that if
No,
I were to
did,
fall
but when
from
you're
the top,
seeing
it would suck.
when you're seeing it, it's like I had read something where a guy had jumped off one time, and Chicago was so windy, and it took him like 12 seconds to fall because the wind was so horrible.
Just try to think about something else on your way down.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of as I was sitting there looking down.
That it would take like 12 seconds. That's crazy.
I love Chicago.
Yeah.
It's such a great place. I know why I'm talking about suicide. You have a fun show.
Did you have have you had anybody that's done the show, maybe even early on, that kind of complained about it after? Like, I didn't want to do it. Why?
It's actually surprisingly, shockingly, usually a very positive experience. More so than anything else I've worked on.
Mm-hmm.
I think people think celebrities might be, they're too whatever. They're going to turn their nose up. But I think most of them are just normal people that are like, I'm killing these wings. They'll push their team back a little bit sometimes. And like, do you need water? And they're like, no, I'm in it. I got it. So even afterwards, and what's crazy is it becomes this weird clubhouse where now even I'll still be in contact with people that have done the show. A lot of people, actually. So I think you end up building it it's like a buddy cop movie every episode.
Isn't it amazing what you have to go through to get to certain people? Like, entourages are very funny to me. Like, you travel with 1 or 2 people. Some people literally walk around 7, 9 people.
Yeah.
Makeup people, the trainer. And there's so many people to get through to get to that one person. And then when you're sitting with them, they're just like, let's do it.
Right.
They're usually easier to deal with.
That's what I find, too. Even when we're trying to pitch people or whatever, sometimes I'll talk to somebody like, we've been trying to get you in here forever. And they'll be like, what are you talking about? I've been wanting to do this show. And you just realize there's gatekeepers that hold it up.
Crazy?
It is crazy.
And
I mean, you want to think, and it never happens, but I feel like if I found out something like that where a person was like, I've been trying to do this forever, and I go, I have no idea, I'd be furious at the gatekeeper, right? Like, I at least want to be able, if it's a no, let me say no.
I always think that about publicists. I feel like that's like the most worthless job
Yeah.
in this place. Because if anything, the bad ones are automatic vibe killers.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm going to pop on a publicist in this calendar year. I'm saying that right now.
Yeah, they can be very difficult because there's a time where it's not reasonable what they're saying. Like, no, we just want to do that, and they're speaking for the artist, but it's like, I know you're not representing that person right.
They don't know we're even having this conversation.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, I host this show. Trust me. I know what people want to hear, what they want to know, and it's not anyone's goal to make anybody look bad.
Isn't that weird when like a publicist won't realize, no, the way this is going to work is when we all look good. And
Right.
I'm going to make them look good. That's the whole reason they're here.
And it's all based on chemistry, whatever. This is like
Yeah.
the first time that we're meeting today, and we have to create this fire
Sure.
between us, this
Right.
chemistry between us. And then when somebody comes in and just messes up the vibe, it even messes with that. So I'm like, if you would have just stayed home, this would have been so much better.
Yeah, because they interfere when they necessarily should. What do they do to you? They start telling you, like, he doesn't want to talk about this, or she doesn't want to talk about that, or
Well,
don't mention the
usually,
divorce, or whatever it is.
we don't. Whatever. If somebody
Also,
has,
he doesn't like wings.
Yeah, he has a sensitive stomach. Could you just interview him and then send him home? No.
Yeah, I think that with us, the guardrail thing usually isn't a major issue. And usually if it's something about family or relationship or whatever, you should just respect it if you're going to have your guests in anyway. But the things that I'm thinking about is early on, especially, I remember one person came in and they were like, this isn't a phoner, what blah, 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 like that. Big star, and they didn't even know they were going to be eating chicken wings that day.
They thought it was a phoner?
Yeah, they thought it was a phoner.
Fucking asshole.
And then and we do our due diligence because we always want people to know what the deal is. You're eating scorching hot chicken wings.
Because
We
otherwise
learned
you're going to
that.
set the whole thing up. They're going to show up. This isn't what I thought it was. I'm leaving.
And then they dip, right?
Yeah, and you're screwed.
Have you had anybody dip? I just
no.
used your term.
No.
I've never said dip before.
You sounded really cool
What a
and young.
shitty chameleon I am.
But then, and then too, she's walking. And with Hot Ones too, we do this career spanning interview where the plugs up front, the front plugs in the back. So we have it set up to where we have a lot of space to play, and you'll always know that you'll hit your talking point. And we deliver this big, long 25-minute interview to the world without commercials, and everybody's happy. So, but I remember she's walking around. She's like, why isn't he talking about the movie? What is that? Like that. And I could hear her. And like, you know what I mean? It's just messing everything up.
It doesn't
thank
work
God,
that way.
Thank God for that room right there and Travis in there being our gatekeeper, because he tells us, and it's happened multiple times, where we're having a conversation like this, right? Where we're not necessarily talking about the project, but within the conversation, our audience is becoming interested in you, and we're gonna mention why we're all here. But the publicist will be in there talking to Travis and going, they're not talking about the project. Are they going to bring up the project? They haven't mentioned the... Yeah.
Right.
It's like, you stupid asshole. What do you think? Everybody wants to hear an actor go, yeah, the director was fun? Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Right. 15 more minutes of that,
They're
please.
not talking about the children's
Talking about the
book.
pranks you pulled on set. Fucking dickhead. The publicists are
That
the
is
worst.
It is the
Worst.
worst. The worst.
Because they don't understand that, like, if people are interested in you, they'll be much more interested in what you're talking about and what you're selling because they like you.
Yeah.
And part of you being interesting is just having a conversation or whatever it is.
100%.
And the bad publicist really, a good
The
publicist stays out of the way. A bad
Or
publicist
sees the vision. Some of them are good. I'll say that. Some of them are good.
Sure.
Maybe they'll see the vision and understand that and know that and support that. And then some of them don't.
I've had this in the middle of an interview. Where
Okay.
they'll walk up and they'll go like, and they put the paper down, and it's like, what the fuck are you? Would you do that if it was on Conan? Right? Would you walk out?
Right.
Yeah. But good publicists know that most publicists are bad. So, like, they'll hear this conversation, and a
They're
good
probably
publicist will be
nodding
right
along.
on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
By the way, you brought me a gift. Thank you.
What's the
I
gift?
did.
I don't know. I didn't know.
I brought you
Open
some
it.
T-shirts. I brought you some hot sauce.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
that's very exciting. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll try it.
Just take a
Yeah,
swig.
go
No,
there.
I can't. Now I have to fly. I'm not doing it before a plane.
Smart.
Yeah, it will actually get sick.
Yeah, and nobody wants to be on a plane with
Yeah.
those kinds of issues.
You're already bad enough with your gut health on a plane.
I know. As soon as we're
Hot
done with this
sauce
interview, I am
farts.
going to shit for 20 minutes. I'm going to run upstairs and shit like an animal.
Is there anybody that you've had on, or maybe even haven't had on but interacted with, where they will come up to you at this point and go like, they're not that they're just saying I'm a huge fan of the show, but you can tell they actually are. Like they're citing references. They're talking about favorite episodes where you're going, holy shit, you're a fan of the show?
Yeah, that happens all the time. And when it started to take off, I'll always know because sometimes people walk in and I'm like, hi, I'm introduced. And people be like, I know who you are. I've seen every episode. Like T-Pain came in and he's like, episode 61, because he's like seen every episode. It's funny that you brought up Bert earlier
Yeah.
because Bert was our first real famous fan who was tweeting out every episode. And
Well, Bert's like so great because no matter how famous he gets, he's
a fanboy.
He's a fanboy. Before he's a
Right.
comedian, before he's a famous guy,
Yeah.
before he's a fanboy.
Exactly.
And it's the best.
Right. So then we've had that whole thing. I'm trying to think of other Tom Segura.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to keep a relationship with him going after this, and kind of a person I'd go to if I needed advice on something. So that's all been so awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing that
Yeah.
you would start to create networks, right?
And it's crazy how the network just sort of like, I feel like it was just all underwater and then it just starts to float and then you just see how it's all connected.
You're just here now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So you want 50 Cent is a guy you really want. Who else is somebody that you're dying to get on?
Well, the fans, I feel like they've gone from Gordon Ramsay, and then once we cross that off the list, have now brought out other names, So I feel like I'm always just chasing my own tail, trying to satisfy the audience. Right now, big names are Elon Musk or The Rock, or so those names that pop up all the time.
I bet The Rock
The
would
Rock,
do it.
you might get the
I bet
Elon
The Rock
Musk
would
after
do
that
it.
pot smoking thing on Rogan. I don't see him doing anything else risky. But
Yeah, I don't see Elon Musk doing a whole bunch of YouTube shows anytime soon.
I think
Especially if
he
you're
pulled
like,
out.
we like to smoke weed when we eat
Yeah,
wings.
yeah.
Oh yeah, me too. What's this? Like a marijuana cigarette? Yeah.
But I bet
Elon.
he would take the joint, though. I bet he would
He
still
would.
take the
He
joint.
still
Yeah.
would. He wants to be cool. He does. But I wouldn't be shocked to see The Rock pop up on that show.
One time, because we've been pursuing him forever, one time I got a note that was like, would Sean be open to eating grilled salmon strips? And I was like, we're close, because that had to come out of his mouth,
Yes.
So I feel like we've been close.
well, would you do it
Yeah.
for The Rock?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody comes on and they're vegetarian or whatever, we'll get vegan wings or.
Oh, you've done that before.
Yeah, so we'll meet people halfway on whatever dietary thing they have. It's really about the sauce, so the vessel isn't that totally important.
Grilled salmon strips will be just as hot as chicken wings.
Yeah, grilled salmon strips soaked in hot sauce just as much, and then I guess you do that for The Rock.
But for The Rock,
I
you
would
do it.
say,
yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with The Rock's fucking Instagram.
It's the best.
Dude, every Sunday he has a cheat meal and sushi. That's my goal in life. I want to eat sushi
You
with
see
The
the
Rock.
squats he was doing yesterday on Instagram?
No.
Oh my God.
Ew.
What do you mean?
Just the way you said it. Wasn't that kind of homoerotic?
It wasn't homoerotic.
Did you see him doing sushi?
squats.
Did you see his calves? No.
Well, sorry that I'm not watching his food porn. Oh, look at the meals he gets to have. Look at his cheat meals.
I want to have sushi with The Rock.
Well, I want to do squats with The Rock.
You want to?
There's nothing wrong
You
with
want to do
doing.
squats over The Rock?
First of all, The Rock would be doing squats over
bet
me.
he would.
Yeah,
That's how that would go.
No, he had like a ton of weight on him and chains hanging down and everything. His calves were. I mean, look, whatever. You obviously prefer the sushi pics.
Would you go to him? Would you go to the Iron Paradise and do it if you wanted to?
What's the Iron
Yeah.
Paradise?
Oh, we should know if you're a fucking fan of The Rock.
Whoa!
Why are you being so hostile?
Do you know what the Iron Paradise is?
do not.
That's his portable gym. That's where he works out all the time.
Is that where he brings it on set and everything?
So like
Yeah.
on the movie lot, he just dropped the Paradise on.
They have that. I'm sure they build it for him wherever he goes. He has to have a gym, and he can't just go to the gym. He's The Rock, and probably he has very limited time to travel.
Yeah, I would say if Matteo Lane can't go to hotel
Right.
gyms, The Rock probably has issues.
He may have a 4 in the morning before he shoots, or 11 at night when he's done. Who knows? Whatever his schedule is, but he doesn't want to have to worry about that. He wants to
Right.
just walk in, work out, and go.
Yep.
Yeah. You're just sucking up to The Rock because he watches comedy Netflix specials on his Instagram.
I know he does, but the bottom line is I want to eat dinner with him. I've never met him.
You
We've
haven't?
talked, no, but I've never met him.
He is. It infuriates me, but he's a Jim Norton fan.
Well, maybe we'll eat together one day.
Well, listen, if anybody hasn't checked out Hot Ones yet, I mean, I'm sure that you're aware of it. If not, it's on YouTube. First We Feast is the channel, but just look up Hot Ones. Well, is Shaq the newest one?
Shaq is the newest one, and then we have Theo Von coming out on Thursday.
Theo's great.
Theo's great.
Yeah.
It's a really good episode, so we're
Theo's-
hyped for that one.
And then are there any, do you announce in advance any other guests for the season?
Well, it's just fans are kind of suffocating, so if they know a guest is coming down the line, then they'll just spam the current interview with like, where is Theo?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
is
I
this?
see.
Where is that?
I see.
But we got Theo Von, Jimmy Butler, and then 2 more episodes in this season, and then we'll start right back up again.
How long do you take a break between seasons?
Like 20 minutes. I mean, like maybe 10 days.
Yeah, feed the
that's-
beast, right?
It's been
Just
so crazy. I mean, we started this show a little over 3 years ago. Now we're 8 seasons, 150. Like we're nailing every Thursday at 11 a.m. for basically 3-4 years.
And you
straight.
love doing it though, so it's not like work. Like it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get a little bit, it starts to weigh on, a
Sure.
little bit because of all the travel. And then sometimes the way the show works, maybe we have a big bank where we've done a lot of interviews and banked them. Maybe sometimes we got to catch up. So then
Sure.
you just start stacking them all in a week, traveling all over the place.
Do
Like,
people
it's
give
all
you
crazy.
shit suggestions? Like, do you know what to get? You want to get the queen. Get the queen if you want to do it.
I have a hard time even looking at my Twitter, but yeah, obviously the queen or just ludicrous requests all day, every day.
Are you going to do a wings restaurant? I mean, that's the move, right?
That is the move. I think.
A chain of wing restaurants. That's
aspirational.
Yeah, I would say hot ones, whatever, like fast food wings.
Let's partner.
That's it. So layup. I got all the connections. No problem. I go to Chipotle at least twice a week, so it should be fine.
Okay, cool.
I know
Fast
what I'm doing.
casual. Yeah, you know.
Fast casual. That is the term. Did you see NBC had this? I can't believe you just said fast casual. NBC had this reality show that lasted one season.
I love where you're going with this.
Did you? Travis and I, up to this point, I believe we're the only two that watched it.
3.
Yes, it was America's Next Great Restaurant or whatever
All
it was
these guys
called.
trying to make a restaurant, and they had the Chipotle guy. And then what he would always say, whenever he made the rounds, because they're giving feedback, the judges giving feedback, he'd always be like, have you tried a fast casual? All he knew was Chipotle.
Yes.
So all of his advice would be Chipotle related.
Of course
he
it
would just
would.
be like, have you tried serving this as a taco? Or he would just,
Every time.
was his only point of reference to everything is just what he'd done with Chipotle, and he was so just laser focused. That was just what he knew.
Why didn't
That
the show work?
I mean, I loved it. They
it
lasted
was
the
a
whole
good show.
season.
I thought it was a good show.
I think that the final two. I mean, I remember Soul Daddy was the one that won.
And I think that the restaurant lasted like 20 seconds.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They opened it
went
down
under.
at the pier. They opened
Chelsea
one.
Pier?
Yeah, Chelsea
Okay.
Pier here in New York. Yeah, it did. It lasted no time at all. Nobody was
one
interested.
lunch service, and then it was
Finished.
folded. Yeah.
It's you'd think on a show like that, like if it were a big show on Shark Tank, for example, even the businesses that fail succeed.
right.
Like they don't get a deal, but the show is so big that they still succeed as a business. But not one restaurant from that show succeeded. Joey's Balls or whatever the meatball place was called.
Joey's Balls. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. That was the kiss of death being on that show.
You know what I find myself? I mean, this catchy tune right here reminds me of other catchy tunes that have been in my head. You know what I find myself singing when I'm taking the garbage out, when I'm walking through the kitchen, when I'm
This is great.
going up and down stairs.
What?
It only costs a dime. Ballyhoo.
Oh, good.
I've become a ballyhoo guy.
good.
JD in the straight shot is
Unironically, too, right?
I wouldn't go that far.
No, but I mean, like it's in your head, not because it's terrible. It's in your head because
It's just
like,
in my head.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's just in my head. Yes.
Yep.
I can't say I'm enjoying it unironically, but it is
yeah.
it is stuck there. And now I see people on Twitter are saying that, and it must just be because James Dolan has a lot of money. James Dolan, of course, the owner of the Knicks and the Madison Square Garden.
Is that
and
Black Caviar we just heard?
Yeah.
Brand new single comes out this Friday.
So good.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, of course it is.
We shoot a video, Chips in it.
Fuck yeah.
I'll
star in it.
If.
What?
James Dolan,
Hold on, what?
Okay.
Nothing. Like literally nothing, Chip.
He
Nothing.
barely even reacted. Of course, the owner of the Knicks and Madison Square Garden and the LA Forum and all kinds of stuff, Optimum and everything here in New York. He's the one that had the guy thrown out of Madison Square Garden because he told him to sell the team. Apparently, he's doing more. He's taking people's signs that say "sell the team." Like he's getting
Shirts that are saying ban Dolan. He won't let in the garden.
very, very sensitive about everything.
Boy, is he fucking hypersensitive.
But he also came out. He's got his band that we're obsessed with called JD and the Straight Shot.
Yeah.
And I guess they came out with their new album last week.
Yes.
And it's getting play on SiriusXM.
It is.
People have sent me screenshots of their radios. And I only assume it's because James Dolan spent a whole bunch of money with Apple or something like that. They put him at the top banner of one of the iTunes pages.
There you go. Good.
Like new music out. JD
That's probably
and
just talent based.
JD and the Straight
Sure.
Shot. You don't think that it might be a paid advertisement?
No.
Oh, I'm sure yeah, because Apple wouldn't do that, right?
No.
No.
Apple's all about just supporting artists.
Right.
That's right.
For the art.
I appreciate that.
Apple's about supporting artists and good times,
Oh, they interviewed them too.
We mean they.
Oh, who's there? I
It's
thought
just Vents Magazine. Whoa, they got an interview with Vents Magazine?
yeah, it's a comfortable looking hands in the pockets still.
He loves tucking those hands in his pockets.
Yeah. Showing off those teeth.
Oh, yeah. I think that that's a wig. I don't think anybody would cut their hair like that.
No, that's real.
You think so?
Total faith.
Well, what's your favorite JD in the Straight Shot song?
Better Find a Church is a really good one.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd have to say that one.
Ballyhoo is probably the douchiest one, but it seems like the perennial favorite has become Better Find a Church. It seems like all the listeners are into it. I've seen Travis walking up and down the hallways going, "Better find a church."
That's all I do.
This is James Dolan's band,
Troy?
JD and the Straight Shot.
I like this song, to be honest.
You like it?
I do. I really do.
It's better than Baby Cow.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
Baby
is.
cow rules. Have you thought of it?
Cow.
What?
You thought of it?
Yeah, just the cheeky way that he says baby cow.
Baby cow.
Baby cow.
Now, have you come around on the fact that he's not a good vocalist?
You know what? Musically, it's good, and the girl really carries it.
Okay,
She's
but
amazing.
that's-
I think Jim does a decent job.
What? That's never been a debate, though. He clearly hired good musicians. His son seems pretty good. His son's in the band. His son seems good at guitar.
His hands are in his pocket, so he has to stop.
Right. The girl's a good singer. There's not. I don't think
great.
anybody's denying that. James Dolan has no place in this band.
That's not true.
JD has no business with the Straight Shot.
Hands are in his pocket.
He's not a conventionally great singer. That doesn't mean he's not good.
Exactly.
Well, he's not a great singer. He's not a good singer.
I mean, it's
disagree.
just
He's not a singer.
It's a voice you're not used to.
That's right.
It was bad.
Hold on.
Okay.
Sounds fine.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, he's not really harmonizing.
Plus, he's a great storyteller.
Okay, these are lyrics. A 5-year-old could write these lyrics.
No, he couldn't.
These lyrics are written by.
They're just hating on it.
They really are.
You think Travis and me are haters?
Yeah, I trust Troy's opinion.
Okay, Troy, as a musician, you don't think that lyrically, just the writing of the lyrics of the song, it sounds like a billionaire that has no idea how humans actually interact and has decided to cosplay, as one reviewer put it, as a blues
That was
artist?
very harsh.
I mean, look, there's a lot of lyrics out there of songs that you probably like that are just gibberish.
You talking about the Migos?
Yeah.
Well,
See?
I'm not talking about the Migos right now. I'm talking about James Dolan.
Oh,
You're
I'm,
missing out.
Do you think he's a good lyricist?
I'm going to tell you that
You think he's a poet? A poet laureate?
no.
Okay.
No, but I'm going to tell you that this song grew on me. I actually like this song.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I know why it grew on you. And the song, they did what songs that are popular do, which is they craft a song that the more you hear it, the more it sticks in your head.
That's correct.
And then you start thinking that you actually like the song.
He likes it.
I do.
And I believe that
But his hands are in his pockets. I wish they weren't.
this song has actually. Wait, are his hands in his pocket?
Too much. He looks uncomfortable on the video, some music video.
Why would you do the video for Better Find a Church in a church? Once you're in a church,
Because he's found a church. We're supposed to do it.
the song is not called I Found a Church. The
Well, it's
song
just,
is called Better Find a Church.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. You
Well, he's
better.
telling you
Yeah,
better find
yeah,
a church.
they
He
found
Oh,
found it.
I see. So he's speaking from the perspective of somebody who's lived it.
Yeah, and he found it.
Or
Okay.
it's a foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's storytelling, Sam. You don't know how to structure a story.
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah,
I
not
don't.
like
I have
James
trouble with
What's
that.
one of the new songs?
Well, no, I don't want to hear the new
I
song.
Oh
think
my
we
goodness!
should.
By the way,
We'll get there.
Wait,
Go ahead, Travis.
just to let you know, Rob informed me
Mhm.
they put their new album on SoundCloud,
Mm-hmm.
and there is up to one song that has over 100 listens.
100,000?
No, 100.
Well, because
Only 100?
people probably buying it. That's why.
Oh, you're right. Why listen to it for free when you can buy it?
Yeah, and SoundCloud's a younger audience. They're not,
That's the old saying, right?
Good
Why
points by both of you.
why get for free what you can pay for?
Well, yeah, a lot of people might not know about SoundCloud.
No, SoundCloud is. It's a young up and coming service. Nobody really knows about it.
That's exactly it.
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah, sure.
We'll check Spotify's numbers.
Yeah, we can check
I'm
the
sure they're
Spotify
good.
They're
numbers.
a little
Okay.
bit more reliable.
Oh, good. Yeah.
What's really going on?
Okay. The Great Divide.
Is that the new one?
I don't think so.
No, the new
See?
one is
Haven't it up yet.
Invisible, I believe.
Oh, you know.
No, that's The Great Divide.
The Great
No,
Divide is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's been up. The Great Divide was one of the first ones we played.
Oh, okay, this looks like it's a new album. They have the whole album on
It
SoundCloud.
says The
Yeah.
Great Divide 2019.
Oh.
Okay.
The single was The Great Divide.
So the single was already out.
Yeah, they give it a little lead time.
Oh,
I
I
see.
see. Okay.
So
I
get
see.
everybody excited for the record.
It worked.
Look, 55. Here's the. Well, I'm going to put a caveat on something. 55,000 listens on The Great Divide is substantial.
It's
Yeah.
not bad.
But James Dolan is in the news. These aren't fans listening to it. These are people making fun of James Dolan.
Wait, what is now? A couple of songs that have not gotten the play they deserve. Why is how come Anything But Love has less than 1,000 And Jessica. Let's hear Jessica. It has less than 1,000. Let's try to get those numbers up.
Doesn't the song Jessica not have any lyrics in it? Isn't that the?
Oh, yeah,
I think that's an acoustic song.
That's why. Yeah.
Oh,
There's no lyrics.
Anything
in
but
this.
they want to hear him sing.
Yeah,
Let's go to
that's
Anything
why
But
it's
Love.
got no. That's
You're
why
right.
it's got no listens.
Great point. This is Anything But Love.
Anything you wish for, if it makes you happy. Only one thing I wish I had. I can give you anything but love.
There you go.
Oh my. Look, the musicians are great. It's catchy. You're already kind of bopping, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
But
not,
the James Dolan part of the band is horrible.
No, he's right.
it's not offensive to your ears.
James Dolan's part?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Okay.
Anything but
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
anything
is
but
this-
love.
We have somebody making a claim here that I'd like to find out if it's true. John on Long Island?
Yeah, hi. How you doing?
Hey,
Good.
John.
How are you doing, John?
Good. Yeah, so I was with another band in the studio over at Quadraphonic back in the day, but I want to say about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I guess he needed somebody to fill in on guitar, like on rhythm or whatever he wanted on the side. But I didn't know it was him. I had no idea. They said, this band, JD and the Straight Shots, you guys can, they're looking for a touring partner and all this business. So I said, what is this, man? So I listened to it. I said, this is horrible. Real shitty blues, real shitty half-assed, like blues-based bullshit.
That's a great review.
So you didn't. God awful.
Oh, but
And
you could have been one
I
of the
didn't know
Straight
he-
Shots.
I didn't know he was James Dolan. Was famous at all. I was like, this band sucks. And what? They're playing these huge venues. I said, what?
Yeah, let me ask you this. If you would
He sounds a little jealous.
If you had
major,
realized-
like, even club venues, but big ones they're playing.
if you had realized how much money was on the table, would you have joined the Straight Shots?
It was $200. They want to give
Oh.
me $200 fucking dollars, and I'm not.
He sounds a little
Come on,
little
JD.
jealous.
Yeah, he does sound a little
Sorry,
jealous.
John, you sound a little jealous
You
of
know-
his success.
You know who he sounds like?
Who?
He sounds like the lead singer of Third Eye Blind in the film Rockstar when he watches Mark Wahlberg getting to play with Steel Dragon. Because he is in a Steel Dragon cover band. He took Mark Wahlberg's spot in this cover band, but now Mark Wahlberg's actually in the band, and he's got to sit there and go,
I got to see
do.
Rockstar.
Yeah, Rockstar's an amazing movie. It's, by the way, Rockstar, unironically, without me making a joke, is better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
Rockstar is better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Is it a pure
100%.
comedy?
It's in the comedy category, but I think they put it in the comedy category the way they call The Room a comedy.
Okay.
Nothing about Rockstar leads me to believe that they intended for this film to be a comedy.
Oh.
But people enjoy it as such. Now, the reason I brought up JD and the Straight Shot was not so I could get into
Oh my God, a music loop. We're all in.
a loop about the film Rockstar,
They're
although
great.
I will always take the opportunity. It's because JD and the Straight Shot is actually inspiring people. Did you know this?
I did not. I'm not surprised.
Some of the great musicians associated with our show have done their own versions of Better Find a Church. Did you know that?
Did not.
That's right. Travis, where do you suppose we should start?
Oh man, it's really up to you.
We've got two great remixes. One is by the Faceplants. The Faceplants have sent along a Better Find a Church version.
Yes, they indicated on social media they were going to.
And one is by a band that's actually prominently featured in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack known as Black Caviar. That's correct. Both of those bands have brought to the table Better Find a Church remixes. Let's start with Black Caviar. Why not, right?
Sure. Travis, you got that in there?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's hear. Okay.
Better find it soon. Better search through the night, find the light.
Kind of sounds like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And you better confess, get it off your chest.
Oh, that sounds cool.
While you still have one left, 'cause even you gotta live, even you gotta live, even you gotta live, even you gotta live, even you gotta live with the things that you did. Better find a truth.
Very good. Oh, it's so happening.
Is that an organ?
Certainly is.
That is incredible.
Awesome.
You captured the spirit, but you brought it to a new audience, I feel like.
That is correct.
Of course, Troy Kwan is a member of Black Caviar. I loved it. I loved it. I like when it really kicks in. I like the demonic guy, when like you really brought down the voice. Better find a church.
I just didn't like that James Dolan's voice wasn't featured the way it should be.
You didn't want any sort of computer tampering with James Dolan's voice?
No.
You didn't like that?
Well, you know,
The rest of it you liked?
I loved it, but I just feel that his voice
Should be in a prominent position. Okay. All right. All
Place
right.
of prominence and honor.
Well, criticism never hurt anybody.
No, never taken.
All right, so that's Black Caviar's version of Better Find a Church. The Face Plants also supplied a version of Better
Okay.
Find a Church. Is
They
that
did,
true?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what the Face Plants. The Face Plants are, of course, the Canadian rock band that are the artists responsible for our theme song. So we love them very, very much. And they decided to supply us with Better Find a Church as well.
Better find a church. Better find it soon. Better search through the night by the light of a sinner's moon. Better find a church. Get on your knees and beg for a chance just to dance with someone who believes.
This is good.
It's good.
Better confess, get it off your chest. Get
We should put this out as a single.
Yeah,
I'll get booked at the Garden.
you might.
secrets hidden. Heaven forbid that the devil gets word. Better find a church. You never meant to hurt no one. In the end, that's what you've done.
This is very good.
It's really good.
Still gonna face the good Lord's hand. Better find a church. Better find it soon. Better search through the night by the light of a sinner's moon. And you better confess, get it off your chest. Get your soul some rest while you still have it left. 'Cause even you gotta live with the things that you did. Secrets you hid. Heaven forbid that the devil gets word. Better find a church.
All right.
That was
two,
great.
Two
great.
That was great.
fabulous versions.
Yeah.
Man, that was great. I think that the Face Plant, you know what's amazing about that version that struck me? That when you're good at singing, you can really disguise horrible lyrics. It didn't even, when I was
Well,
listening
hold
to,
on now. Let's take an opportunity to destroy the original with a compliment of the newer one.
when I was listening to that, I was going like, yeah, I could get into this song. Like, it seems like there's real emotion behind what's going on.
Sure.
But that's because the guy from the Face Plants was singing it seriously. Whereas when I heard James Dolan singing it, it really struck me how bad, how horrible the lyrics were.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the conviction that the face plants do.
Right. And,
Well, he
and
also
he
has-
shouldn't.
You guys are,
the lyrics are not that good.
You guys are blowing out someone's candle to make yours burn
you're
brighter.
right. I shouldn't have brought that
I
up.
totally disagree with
I
that.
don't like that.
I don't either.
No,
It's a good song.
Jim and I won't stand for it.
No, the original version is good.
We are
And so
disciples
is
of
this.
the church
Yeah.
of JD
Dolan?
and Stitch.
No, the the donations are for for both songs, both good songs,
Yeah, man, they did a
both
great.
excellent songs.
I did get a kick out of hearing the guy from the Face Plants singing it
It's great.
like seriously
Yeah.
with real conviction.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're a good singer, when you're an artist.
Yeah.
When you can take just
Another song.
dog shit lyrics, I was going to say,
No, that's incorrect.
okay, and really put conviction behind it because they're not there in the words.
Somebody on Twitter is saying that the Faceplants version sounds like season 3 of The Wire, the opening.
Yeah, I guess so. They did the same song every every season, but they just would
Just
have a different singer.
version.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I mean,
What was season 3 of The Wire? I don't remember the opening.
It was better than season 2.
the opening.
the show was. Yeah.
Oh,
Although season
No,
2,
the song too. The song for season 2, I hate.
I don't remember it.
It's like the real gravelly, like
better find a
Yeah.
church. Is Better Find a Church the song? Okay, this is season 3 of The Wire.
What's season 2?
Yeah, I don't think this sounds like the song we just heard at all.
I couldn't try to sing it. Troy can bring it up, but it's by far my
Sing
least
a little
favorite.
bit of it. Just give me a lick.
Give me one lick.
Nah.
But it'll
ahead.
be better because Troy can't find it, unfortunately.
No, Troy's got it right there.
That's not the right one. So, Travis, if you could go ahead and sing
actually, good job with Troy. That is
it. That's
the right
unfortunately, there's no audio behind that.
one. Troy, you just pot it up. Troy,
Let's
What
go
don't you
ahead
like
and-
about it? Just give us a one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't like the guy's voice. I don't
How
like.
does it sound?
When you walk through the.
Rob, don't spoil it.
Yeah, I know, Rob. Let
No, I did
Kermit
it.
sing.
Now just play.
You
know
didn't
what?
finish it.
I want. How does it go? I didn't watch the show. How does it go?
I am so silly. I could just play it from my computer. I don't.
No.
know.
Let's just hear your verse
Please
first.
don't. How does it go?
Go ahead.
I don't remember. The
Yeah,
lyrics.
go ahead. You had it.
It was
It's
going like
been a
this.
long
It's
time.
like,
I don't remember.
like, how does it go?
Exactly like that.
Tell
Do
me.
it.
I don't want to overmodulate.
Go ahead.
The microphone.
Just once.
Go
It's
ahead.
gonna sound
Overmodulate.
It's okay.
It's okay.
When you walk through the garden. But it's so bad. Do you remember which one I'm talking
Oh
about?
no, it sounds bad.
All right, Troy, play it.
Piggy.
You guys want me to play it?
Yeah.
I'm here to see the wire.
When you walk through the garden,
I like it's a great impression.
I hate this one.
you gotta watch your back.
Is that
I
Travis?
don't hate it, but
It coming off season 1 because season 1's is probably my favorite version.
How does season 1 go, Travis?
It's just a regular song. I'm not going to do it.
you don't
But
like
how does
this?
season 2 go?
When you walk through the garden.
Oh, that's great. You know, I have to tell you, in listening to the 3 versions of Better Find a Church, first, of course, the first was JD and the Straight Shot, then Black Caviar, then the Face Plants. I would say there's a clear top 2. I would say JD and the Straight Shots version of their original song is by far the worst version.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Oh. So for you, it's tied for...
It's the high water mark.
You think so?
Yeah.
I see. So Troy, you actually found yourself getting into the song as you did your version.
It grew on me.
It
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
It did. Did you listen to it after?
I listen to our version.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, I feel like, and the Faceplants one's great, but, we put a different spin on it where you could actually twerk to Gotta Find a Church.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a totally different, and that's what I like about JD and the Straight Shot is that depending on your perspective, really where you're at in life, it just inspires you in different ways. You guys in Black Caviar heard something where you said that people need to dance and they need to twerk, 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 twerk.
That's right.
And the Face Plants heard something where they just needed to push their emotion out of their body, like their soul was just aching for JD and the Straight Shot and whoever it was that was not able to find a church.
The Faceplants basically did it the way that JD and the Straight Shot should have done it.
I see.
Is Kennedy still on Fox Business?
Kennedy's on Fox Business. She does. Yeah, she does a
I
good
like her.
job. She was calling. What's she calling him? Boner Beto.
No, Beta O'Dork.
Beto O'Dork.
No, Beta.
Beta. Oh, Beta.
Beta O'Dork.
Does she
like
like
that.
him?
Hilarious.
Beta O'Dork.
Fuck yeah.
She nailed him.
She did.
Fuck yeah.
She fucked him up.
Jerry in Nebraska has an interesting question.
All right, let's go to Jerry in Nebraska. What's up, bud?
Hey, Jimmy, I love you, you little lump.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jerry. I am indeed.
Yeah. Hey, man, just going back to that evil, good force kind of thing.
That's right.
I remember a while back, it's been a year or so, I think it was Celebrity Ghost Stories. You had an episode on there. I saw that.
Yes.
So was that story just a bunch of bullshit or?
No.
Was that when Edgar the Ghost was there?
Yes.
And his teeth were dry?
Yes, they were.
His ghost teeth.
His ghost teeth
His
were dry.
spirit teeth.
Yeah, that's different. I tapped into evil that day. Evil came to visit me in that hotel suite.
Hey, his teeth are dry.
You like that?
Thank you, Jerry.
I'm looking at it right now. just so I can hear the clip.
Jim went on Celebrity Ghost Stories at one point, and I mean, how long was the actual story? 15 minutes?
A little less,
Longer?
I think.
It
couldn't-
lasted over 2 breaks, didn't it?
I
Wasn't there
don't
a
know.
commercial break that split it up?
Yeah.
I know I couldn't do. I wanted to mention Chip, but I was afraid they could look him up too easily, and I would laugh.
So Jim went on this entire story. It was all a lie. I mean, there were
No.
elements of truth, but it was all a lie. And then he finally gets to the payoff for all of us radio people, where he says that he goes, and this ghost, I just heard him from behind the curtain, and he said, my teeth are dry.
My teeth are dry.
And you realize you've been sitting here listening to this ghost story for 15 minutes just to get to an Edgar punchline.
And I said that the people were like, "Yo, you're in the Edgar suite." The Edgar suite.
The Edgar suite. My teeth are dry. Let's go to Tony in Chicago. What's up, Tony?
Oh, dear God.
Oh, dear God.
Hi, Tony.
Who is this?
Hi.
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey. Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, what's
Am
up?
I on?
Hey,
Yes.
Tony. Hey, Tony.
You're going
Yeah.
on in just a second.
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Hey, Tony.
You're gonna be on very soon.
Hi, Tony.
Okay.
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Tony.
Tony.
Am I on?
Hey, Tony.
You'll be going on in just a second. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hi,
All right.
Tony. Hey, Tony.
Hi. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Jim. I love you.
Hey, Tony.
I just wanted to.
Hi, Tony.
I know you.
I'm here now. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Hey, Tony.
Okay.
Hi, Tony.
I've heard hi, Tony, like 5 times. I don't know if I'm on yet.
No,
Yes,
you will
you
be.
are.
You will be in a second.
Okay.
You're right now.
Okay.
We're putting you through because you're hearing the live feed come through.
Hi, Tony.
Okay.
Hi, Tony.
Okay.
Hey, Tony.
All right.
my God.
We'll get you on just a
I hear
second.
that
Hold
one
on.
more time.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Hi,
All right.
Tony. Hi, Tony. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
What up, girl?
How do I know if I'm on or not?
Hi,
You will
Tony.
be in just a second. We're getting you on soon.
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Hi, Tony.
What up?
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Are you ready to go on?
I'm ready.
All right.
Hi, Tony.
Tony, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Tony.
I'm gonna lose my mind. It's probably not a good thing to do before someone's going on the air.
Hi,
Just
Tony.
letting you know.
Oh, no, I know.
I'm not gonna be able to talk.
Okay. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
You'll be able to talk. Why are you afraid you won't be able to talk?
Because you said hi like 20 times, so that's all I can really hear right now.
What do you want to talk about?
Hi, Tony.
Well, am I on? Because I don't know if
No,
I'm on.
I want to make sure before we put you on.
Hi, Tony.
Hi. So I wanted to make a comment. I know you guys are talking about law of attraction, and I'm a huge believer of it.
Hi,
And,
Tony.
Hello, Tony.
And so, you keep talking about positivity, and that's a huge proponent of it. But when you were talking about Trump, the
Thank you for the
biggest
call,
piece of
Tony.
it- Am I done? Am I really done? The biggest piece of it is that if
Thanks, Tony.
if you believe,
Thank you, Tony.
are you guys just fucking with me, or am I really? I can't tell if I'm on or not.
Thank you, Tony.
You will be soon. We're just going through a couple things.
Oh, okay. You just want to see.
Thanks for the call, Tony.
This is brutal.
What do you
oh
want
my God.
Tony, what do you want to talk about? When we put you on, what do you want to talk about?
Oh my God. Oh, so I see
In
you're
a
like betting
nutshell.
me. That's what this is.
We're betting
Okay.
you. You have to bet you. The guys who yell at
Okay.
us.
Okay. No, it's about law of attraction. So the whole thing is that,
Thank you for the call, Tony.
Yeah, we've moved on.
Oh my God.
Thank you,
Okay.
Tony.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Tony.
Bye.
All right, bye. Take care.
Bye, Tony.
Wait, Tony,
What?
do you want to go through?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks for the call,
Yes.
Tony. Bye.
When the guys put you on, just say hi and go right into your point.
Okay.
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 Thanks for the call, Tony.
Tony, you're on. You're on the air.
Am I on?
You're on
When
the
will
air.
I know?
You're on the air now.
Am I on the air?
You're on the air now.
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Hey, Tony.
Okay, thanks for the call.
Oh my God.
Just don't talk about karma. Don't talk about that.
Thank you, Tony.
Have I been on the air?
Okay, talk to you later.
Nope. Can't put you on.
Have I been on the air?
Thank you, Tony.
Oh my God.
Tony?
Yes.
Thanks, Tony.
Where are you from, Tony?
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
Sorry, we're only doing the coastal cities.
Okay.
Okay, bye, Tony.
Oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind.
You're panicking.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Thank you for the call.
Okay, thanks.
All right, bye.
Tony.
Wait a second. Do you want
Tony.
on?
What?
Did you want to talk about karma?
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Thank you for the call. Goodbye.
I'd like to hear about karma.
I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about now.
Thank you for the call, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Honestly, if I'm talking about law of attraction, I don't even know what I just attracted. So
Goodbye,
that's
Tony.
if I know.
Bye, Tony.
Yeah, take care.
All right.
See.
Bye.
Tony,
What?
where are you from? Where are you calling from, caller?
I think I'm from Chicago.
Goodbye, Tony.
Take care.
Okay. Bye. Goodbye.
Tony?
Okay, now. Oh, yes. Yes.
You stupid.
Hi, Tony.
If you call me that word. You know what? Because if you really do call me that word, then we really need to talk about law of attraction. Because how did I even draw that into me right now? I have no idea. Anyway.
Where did you learn your trade? No, what did you want to talk about? The law of attraction in what sense?
Because it's all about what you draw in. So if you
Where are you from, Tony?
Yes, say where you're from.
You don't want to hear what I have to say. You really have you don't care
That's
because
not
you don't
true.
want to know what I have to say. But no,
Okay,
you don't.
Tony,
Obviously, you
Tony,
don't.
we're getting ready to let you on the air.
Okay.
Bye, Tony.
Okay.
Talk soon.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for the call.
Okay.
Love you, miss you.
Bye.
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 Tony?
Bye.
Bye, Tony.
Bye. Can I hang up now?
No.
Can you what?
What?
Can I what?
Bye.
I didn't hear what you said.
What?
Huh?
What?
Huh? Who?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Is this Jim and Sam?
I think so.
We're calling for Jim and Sam?
Yes.
What do you want to talk
Yeah.
about?
I love Jim, actually. We went and saw Jim. I love you.
Thank you.
Goodbye,
You're
Tony.
welcome.
This is Jim and Sam for Tony?
This is Jim and Sam for Tony. Yes. it is.
Yes, explain what you wanted to. The law of attraction. Let's hear
I'm
it.
not even going to try. There's no fucking way I'm going to try.
Okay, bye, Tony.
All right, goodbye.
All right. All right. Bye.
All right, take care.
Bye, Tony.
This is like a bad breakup. Okay. Bye.
Peace.
Okay. Later.
See ya.
Tony?
Okay. Yeah.
Hey.
What?
This has been happening for over 7 minutes. Hate it. Hate it.
You liar.
Yeah.
No, it has been
You
happening
lied.
for over 7 minutes.
Wow, that's probably pretty good. That's a record for you, isn't it?
Well, yeah, if we're talking about certain things, sure. Doubles my record.
Exactly.
Bye, Tony.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, my God.
You can't say bye to me, can you?
Bye, Tony.
No.
You just can't.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye, Tony.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Tony.
Bye, Jim.
Bye, Tony.
Bye.
Bye, Tony.
Goodbye.
Okay, this is good air, isn't it?
Bye, Tony.
No, they probably hate it.
Bye, Tony.
Okay, bye.
See
Bye.
you later.
Okay,
Take care.
Bye.
bye. Take
All right,
care.
we should,
See you later, Tony.
Tony?
Yeah.
Give you $10 to hang up.
Do you want to hang up first, or should
All
we?
right. Are you gonna hang up first?
You want to hang up first?
We have to.
No, you guys have to.
You hang up first.
No, I'm not going to. I'm never hanging up. I'm going to call every day. No, this is going to be.
Please
I'm going to make
do.
your numbers go way down.
No, it's not your fault.
Goodbye, Tony.
Take care.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Tony hung up.
She did. I enjoyed Tony a lot.
I like Tony.
Yeah,
She was right, too, about what she was calling in. Whatever she was calling in for,
Karma.
she was 100% right, I think.
Yep.
100% right. Our friend Matteo Lane is here. You can follow him on Twitter
Yeah,
at
yes,
Matteo Lane. He's going to be at
Hi,
the
Matteo.
Lincoln
How are you?
Lodge in Chicago on Friday and Saturday.
In Albany in April, Albany, New York.
April 5th through 7th.
Albany? No, that's a pretty
In
good little
Albany.
room.
I know, but I feel like there's gonna be like 2 gays, and then it'll just be a weekend of hate crime. So,
Do you think that's a fun town?
no, but I mean, I've only just been to the mall, so it's not fair for me to like judge the town. I'll be in Chicago this weekend. All my shows sold out, but Friday late.
Oh, that's great.
Saturday late show. So we get to hi, good morning. How are you guys?
Okay, not bad. How are you?
Good. I'm such a promotional. I'm like,
No, that's
like,
okay.
say Albany. I'll be in Albany, New York.
Well, yeah, because Chicago's almost sold out, so let's sell the Albany tickets,
Let's do
right?
it.
Where
Yeah.
in Chicago are you working?
The Lincoln Lodge. Bert won't book me at Zany's because he got into a fight with my agent years ago. So now he won't book me.
What was the fight about?
About you?
I guess we agreed to another spot. Like he was making an offer, but then we agreed to someone who sent us an offer, and so now he's like, he'll never work here again. I'm like, fine. Sorry, fine. My face won't be on your shit wall.
So you're upset that, do you want to work Zany's?
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm jealous.
Right, you're upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm insecure.
I get it.
Which
so
one-
you're lashing out.
Mhm.
I understand.
But Lincoln Lodge is great. And seats almost the same amount of people.
Zany's downtown. There's a Zany's downtown, which was a really good room.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's a nice room. But they also had one in. They had two on the like
One in Rosemont.
Rosemont.
Yeah.
I don't remember where the other one was. There was one that was
It's
like
by
in
O'Hare.
a ski lodge. It was actually a really good gig.
Oh.
And there was one that was in a club, and I think that they moved it. I don't know. I've lost touch. But
When was the last time you were in Chicago?
For Zany's, it's been a while. I think
Yeah.
I did a theater last time I was there. It was.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Whoa. Excuse me.
No big deal.
Yeah,
No,
really.
it wasn't.
I opened for Aziz last week there, or 2 weeks ago at the Chicago Theater.
How was that?
It was a lot of fun. It was, I mean, it was exciting for me. But
I give Aziz credit because fucking Matteo kills. So he must be, he's putting a killer act on in front of him.
Right.
well,
Right.
Aziz kills.
Yeah, he does.
But that's very nice of you to say.
Yeah, that's Jim doesn't want to put you on as his opener because it's like, come on, we need to lower
He's
the
a headliner
bar
anyway, but I
mean,
mean, I wouldn't want to go after Matteo on the
Plus,
road.
we have the same act, so
We do. He steps on all my songs.
yeah, you're doing all those whistle tones and Mariah Carey high notes. It's like, well, I
and
should
Barbara
probably-
Corcoran. He started doing Barbara Corcoran recently.
No,
and
I've
it's-
been doing it. Remember from years ago?
Oh, actually, I forgot. Yeah.
By the way, someone sent me a clip of Barbara. She was explaining a restaurant. She was literally on there. She's like, the best part about it is that when you go back to eat, it's always in the same place. I was like, that's what a restaurant is, Barbara.
Right. Was she trying to talk about why restaurants are better than food trucks?
Well, yeah, I think
Was
she
that
took a food truck and made it a restaurant. And so all she had
Cousin's Lobster?
Yes, it
Yes,
was
of
Cousin's
course.
Lobster.
It's the only business she's ever invested in on Shark Tank.
Did it succeed?
It is successful, but apparently she's still got no money because she never invests in
It's
anything.
a
on that
lobster
show.
truck?
It is. It's a lobster.
It's a lobster truck. But then she was explaining instead of saying like, we have a location and it's going to be great. She was just like air, whenever you need it, you just breathe in. It's like, come on. Here we go. Join the family.
Yeah.
Cousin Maine Lobster. It's a restaurant, and when you sit down, they give you food on a plate.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. It's a building now? It's not a truck?
It's both. They have food trucks everywhere, but I think they just opened a restaurant, and Barbara was marveling at the fact that there's no wheels on
Are
it.
they good? I would never want to eat lobster out of a fucking truck.
Well, Barbara has a lot of
Yeah.
faith in it.
Barbara, lobster. I'm allergic to seafood, but also lobster would just be. Nothing about it seems appealing to me at all. The cracking, the smell, the kill. I mean, everything about it seems insufferable. And
I don't like that they burn it. They kill it alive. Like they throw it in there in boiling water. What a shit way to go.
I think about that. Like when
fucking assholes.
When I'm at the supermarket with my son and we walk by the lobsters in the water. I'm like, oh, say hi to the lobsters, and he goes, hi, lobsters, and everything's like,
now
oh, it's
murder
animals.
them.
And I don't think to myself, at some point, I'm going to have to explain to him that they're just there until they get boiled alive.
Yeah, their hands are fucking clawed shut.
They are.
With
They're
rubber
like
bands,
rubber
like
banded
dicks.
shut.
What dicks they must feel like. And then they parade you around the restaurant, and then they literally just put you in boiling water. It's
Right.
fucking horrible.
They're sitting there going, don't worry, I have a great natural defense. No, you don't,
Yeah.
rubber band.
Yeah, all they can do is swim backwards, and they're defenseless. I
That's
mean,
it.
we're strapping them down, we're emasculating them, and then we burn them alive.
It's
Like,
humiliating.
oh my God,
Just imagine
the
if
indignity.
there were giants that were around that put rubber bands over your fingers and then just waited until they were ready and then just threw you into boiling water until you died.
And
That's
then
what bothers me.
And the way we eat them is wild too. We're snapping them in
Yeah, of
half and
course.
spitting out this part and throwing the shell, and it's like, God, we're awful. We're just terrible.
I
Terrible
can't
people.
enjoy shrimp anymore. Because
Really?
because that little fucking thing, that little brown trail that you know
Yep.
is shrimp shit,
Yep.
it just drives me nuts.
Barbara said once, she goes, I don't like shrimp, so for that reason, I'm out.
Any excuse she could find.
What is that, a bowl of mayonnaise? Yeah, lobster is just disgusting.
Do you watch just Shark Tank or do you watch Marcus and the Prophet too on CNBC?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
So there's this great show called The Prophet.
Is mine?
It comes on whatever night that on CNBC that Shark Tank isn't on. The Prophet is on. And this guy Marcus goes in and he puts money into people's businesses and then he changes them. It's like Bar Rescue except for people's
Right.
businesses. But I came to this amazing realization. He was doing one with this company and he brought this company to his corporate headquarters or whatever. And he was like, you're going to work with some of the people that I work with so that we can bring you up to speed. And every business that he's ever invested in, the owners, quote unquote, that were on the show before, they all come out of different offices in his building. And I'm like, Marcus he just owns all the people now.
Yeah.
They just all live in his building now. Everything is just his.
I drew a picture of Shark Tank yesterday. I tweeted it. I drew the whole cast, and then CNBC followed me. And then they were like, we love it. And I was like, oh, I kind of made Barbara look not good. Like, because, oh, God, you could have told me you were taking a picture. I look horrible.
It's a candid.
Mod on.
Great.
There's me at the Lincoln Lodge. There they are.
Oh, look at you. You're a great artist.
I did the whole, I used to be a professional illustrator for years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I illustrated TV commercials and fashion ads. That's what brought me to New York.
Oh.
You know,
So-
a lot of comedians, they just tell jokes, and that's where the talent ends. You're in shape. You can draw. You can sing.
Well,
and
I'm
you
such
decide
a
to do
whore on
comedy.
Instagram, and I'm getting backlash from people for it. So
Why?
I keep trying. Because straight people are mad I talk too much about being gay, and gays are mad I'm not Kathy Griffin. So, I have to showcase that I'm more than just like a butt.
Yeah, I mean, but look, if any of the people that are complaining,
See, it's half my drawings, half my.
Wait, Matteo, you're in your underpants in that.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm on a cruise. I'm in a Speedo, ready to go out. I was on the Impractical Jokers cruise. So for me, walking around like that, I was marching for gay rights.
okay, I'm going to tell you something.
Your
Matteo.
hiney is showing in this photo.
It does.
I
it's-
like that picture though.
It does make it difficult when you go to your friends and you go, oh, I saw this hilarious comic. His name's Matteo Lane. You got to check him out.
This guy's great.
And then they Google you, and there are a whole bunch of pictures of your ass and you're naked on your Instagram and everything. It makes it difficult,
I wish I was
to spread the word.
I wish I had
I
abs
don't
like
care.
that.
Yeah,
God damn it. I
I
want
really
good
do
abs.
look like a whore, but I kind of love it.
If I worked out to the point that I could pull anything like
Yeah.
that off, I would want to do naked pictures.
I would
all the
too.
time,
I just can't. I'll never stand like that in a photograph ever.
If you look like
Like
that,
a whore in the window.
Yeah, unless the guy, my cellmate, commands me to do so. I will never. I will never be confident enough. Just the one with jeans and just your arms up. I will never be confident enough to do that.
Yeah, but also look at my artwork. I got drawings.
Yeah, let's look
up
at the
there.
artwork, Troy. Stop lathering
If
yourself
you
up.
scroll
No,
down,
you're-
scroll down a
Barbra
bit. I did
Streisand.
all the X-Men. So if you scroll down, I did something for all the straight. There's all my X-Men. There's Storm, Jean Grey.
Great. So there's a photo of you almost naked in tiny like bikini briefs, wearing cowboy boots, a cowboy hat, and holding a teddy bear. And then a few pictures above that is your drawing of Barbra Streisand. It does seem like you're targeting a specific audience.
I'm a huge faggot.
I see. I didn't realize.
One criticism I got, someone's like, he talks too much about being gay. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? Like, I cannot help how gay I am. Yeah. I just cannot stop. And what am I going to do? Get up and be like, well, listen, the problem with airplanes. Like, no, I'm getting dick up my ass, and I love talking about being gay.
But, I mean, nobody sits there and rags on other comics for talking about all the pussy that they get, or all the women that they're fucking, or whatever, or not in the case of...
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, too, there's very, very... I mean, a gay, openly gay male comic who is as big as Jerry Seinfeld doesn't exist.
Right.
There is none.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, I'm making up all the rules. Me and Solomon Giorgio and Joel Kim Booster and all these gay comics coming up, we can kind of just make up the rules as we want to go.
Yeah.
So I don't have to... I don't want to explain myself constantly to people in my life. Just either get on board or you don't.
Yeah, this is what you like. This is who you are.
But also in my act, actually, really, if you come see me on the road, like most of my material is universal. I really don't talk. I don't talk about like having gay sex. I don't talk, and not because I'm ashamed of it for any reason. It's just I'm more drawn to talking about the Food Network or that. You know what I mean? I have jokes.
Right. Well, it's great. You provide everything. You watch your special on Netflix, and you go, oh, these are some funny jokes. And then you go, okay, and that's what he looks like naked.
And
you
go on Instagram, you're like, never mind.
And he's great,
He's a great drawer, too. He's a great illustrator.
Who's that one in the middle there, that lady?
That's Maleficent.
Can I see her? Can I make that picture bigger?
No, Maleficent.
He doesn't. He's so straight. He doesn't know who Maleficent is.
Oh my God. Maleficent.
There you go.
It really is. It really. She's a
Disney lady.
Yeah, Disney lady.
She is a Disney lady.
She is.
Am I coming off super insecure? And okay, sorry. I'm very insecure.
Why are you insecure?
I don't know.
I hate that we both have gray shirts on, but they don't look the same on us. Hurts me a lot.
Like when
I can change.
When Jim presents himself and says, "I'm very insecure," you go like, "Yeah,
as justified as you should be."
But there's nothing for you to be insecure about here. You've mastered a lot of crafts. It seems like.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah, you could do a great Barbara Corcoran. She's my favorite.
You know what? Of all the things that I do, when I was a waitress and when I... she has kids and like a husband?
No.
Her husband, by the way, is Methuselah.
Is he awful?
They put a picture together and I was like, oh my God. Like, I literally like shell shocked.
Well, he's old?
Yeah. It's the early hundreds, but I feel bad that I'm talking. I don't want to talk shit about her because I truly enjoy her. I enjoy her the same way I enjoy people like Liza Minnelli. They're just like kind of strung together and not really sure like how they got in this position, but like I'm fascinated by them.
Is Liza known to drink a little, huh?
Well, I've been known to sort of kind of have fun, especially at Studio 54. I was a wet nurse. I had a lot of fun. I was at Neiman Marcus the other day, the Hudson Yards, and I was smoking.
They had an article they wrote because she came out and sang New York, New York, which, of course, she sounds like beef jerky. And and so they said in the review, like, there was a puff of smoke coming out of Liza's dressing room. She was having a pre-show cigarette. I'm like, Liza's at Hudson Yards, $1 billion project at Neiman Marcus to sing New York, New York. She's smoking like a 16-year-old in high school. Like, better get this quick one in.
In her dressing room?
Yeah.
There's a picture of Barbara and her husband. There is an age gap. And Barbara Corcoran
Not a big one.
Well, this is from like 30 years ago.
Yeah, there's one. Look up at the top.
Bill
right
Higgins.
there.
That's a man's name.
No, next to it.
What did Bill Higgins think?
It's oh my God.
Yeah, there's a big age gap.
Yeah, he looks like Sumner Redstone. That doesn't even look like pictures were taken in the same time.
Barbara's husband he's gotten to the point where at first he was just kind of a charming old man, whatever, and he's past the point of no return.
Right.
It's like, oh, he's old.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it just happens one day. It just all hits you all at once, and it's unfortunately hit Mr. Corcoran.
If you look close, there's a few strings holding him up.
Yeah, he's an older man.
Did you see Wendy Williams yesterday make her big announcement?
I did.
You see that?
Oh, yes, I watched. First of all, I love Wendy Williams because Wendy, she'll be, if she's talking about Brad and Angelina, she'll take the conversation and move it directly to her.
She sure does.
She does. Oh yes. Oh yes. I'm so proud of her because before we get into, I'm gonna hedge this conversation. I'm a big Wendy Williams fan. Hello, huge faggot over here. But
I see.
She was, really acting strange. For a long time. For a year. And because she used to be so quick and this and that. And then all of a sudden, she's just kind of loopy and her eyes are glossed over and she couldn't form sentences. And so then she goes away for like a month and comes back. Oh, it was my Graves' disease. And my doctor said I had the lowest. No, it's not Graves' disease.
Wasn't her husband cheating on her?
That's the rumor. The rumor is the husband's got another family and all this stuff. So yeah, she fainted and stuff. So now she comes back after like a 2.5 month hiatus and she gives some bullshit answer. So I have a lot of doctors and and I was just tired. It's like, no, Wendy. So finally she said.
And I mean, she looks like a different person. I was a big fan of her when she was on the radio.
Right.
Like I loved her radio show in New York. I thought it was the best thing. I adored it. And then she left radio to do TV.
Her fall is so dramatic.
It's the greatest thing I've ever.
We're watching
her that fall.
She was
awesome.
On her Halloween show. She dressed up as the Statue of Liberty and literally collapsed. She passed out and fainted.
I want one woman to react this way when I show her my dick.
It's also just so funny that, like, of all the days she's in a green wig with a green dress.
Yeah, of course.
Of course she faints as the Statue of Liberty.
And everybody's kind of giggling as she faints because it looks so cartoony and over the top.
But that's genuinely who she is.
Of course
you know what I mean?
it is.
I faint. I was trying to grab my head because I didn't want my hair to move. So she said. She ran to hurt her head.
But she's like weirdly skinny now, like not healthy skinny, weirdly skinny. Her eyes are popping out of her head all of a sudden. She doesn't look like the same person.
Well, that is the Graves' disease. She's like 51, I think,
What
or
does
2.
what does Graves do to you?
Graves' disease, I'm not sure what exactly it does, but one of the side effects is it makes your eyes start to get really big, and you can get rashes. 54. So I had a friend who had Graves' disease, and she, for a long time, her eyes started getting really big. And a woman in the airport stopped her and said, "Look, obviously you don't know me, but I work with this, foundation. I think you might have Graves' disease. You should go to your doctor." She did. She started getting treated. If you get treated early enough, it can, make your eyes go back to normal.
What does Graves do to you?
Well, in Wendy's case, apparently makes you missing for 2.5 months. Wow. But I'm glad I really am proud of her for saying, she has an addiction problem. She's living in a sober house. I mean, it takes a lot to say that and to be Wendy Williams. I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Is Graves' disease kill you or no?
Graves' disease
it's an autoimmune disorder that causes hyperthyroidism, an overactive thyroid. With this disease, your immune system attacks the thyroid and causes it to make more thyroid hormone than your body needs. The thyroid is a small butterfly-shaped gland in the front of your neck,
which could explain her weight. Her thyroid.
Yeah,
and her
I guess
weight,
that's true.
And
up and down.
Yeah, she's vegan now, and God, I'm just the expert of Wendy Williams.
You know a lot about Wendy. I didn't know all these things.
I know. I love Wendy. I love Wendy Williams.
Well, let's go to the clip. She's on her show yesterday. Yeah, and she's standing out there in the audience. She's holding her microphone, and this is how she explains her hiatus.
Jesus, she looks psychotic.
She looks like what?
She looks psychotic.
Yeah. Yeah, and she
good.
also, but she doesn't look good.
She doesn't.
She also doesn't really move properly
she's
anymore.
She's becoming a little Mariah, where like if you look at Mariah back in the day, she's running around the stage. Now she's very like, stands very still when
deliberate
she performs.
in her movements. But it's almost when I look at this, I feel like she's worried that she's going to break or fall apart, or if she moves too quickly, her arm is going to break or whatever.
She's also probably nervous. She now has to tell millions of people, "Hi, I'm a coke addict living in a sober house."
Yeah.
I don't think that's, it's not, hey everyone, I'm a coke addict. So, what would proceed to the Wendy Williams show?
Yeah, you're right.
Back. So, you know me for being a very open and truthful person, and I've got more to the story for you.
Whoever's the asshole, by the way, that went, whoa. Like as if
some gay in the back. Girl.
As if this was going to be like a fun part of the show.
I mean, her audience is, it's just...
I want to know.
They're the best.
Are they instructed not to look at her?
Yes, they must be because of the camera. They're probably told to watch her on the monitor and don't all turn your heads towards her.
Because some of them are looking at the camera, but there's the one Asian woman with the pink tiara on that is staring right at her. And when I was watching this video last night, I couldn't stop looking at her because her reactions to what Wendy's saying are priceless.
I didn't even watch her.
Oh, yeah. She's great.
Oh, she's grabbing her.
She's grabbing her friend's hand.
Kevin and I have the Hunter Foundation for the Good of the People.
She's nodding, yeah.
And we recently launched our 888-5 Hunter number for those.
Some gay, for those listening, just gave her a Kleenex box.
Because she's already starting to
She's already starting to choke
I
up
went to
those
her show
giant
'cause
eyes.
Nicole Byer was a guest, and she brought me, and we stood on the side, and then Nicole like referenced me, and so Wendy waved me. That was my one claim to like waving.
Was that
at
exciting?
Wendy. Yeah, because of course, I'm so excited. I love
So
it.
you got to wave to Wendy.
Yeah.
You got to be in an elevator with Mariah.
Oh, that was the best.
Like, do you have goals anymore?
Yeah. What do you?
Do I have gold? If I mean,
do you have?
Streisand, I would die.
That's it. Streisand is the last one.
Yeah.
Wow.
But she's like,
Maybe you'll
in
take
her
a
mouth.
bus with her or do something like that. Something in passing.
You're saying all these,
They're
these
all weird
meaningless
passing, yeah.
interactions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I do should talk about her being gay. I'm thinking about it.
She would love you, Barbara Streisand.
No, I don't think she would.
Why?
Why not?
Because she's, she's like, my chickens lay green eggs. She's like in her own Malibu world.
I see.
And she doesn't like compliments. She doesn't like anyone but her husband, James Brolin, and her friend, Diana, whatever her name is, who makes her dresses for her.
Unfortunately, I do not know what Diana's name is.
What is her name?
She
Diana?
doesn't seem like she's the easiest woman to get along with.
No.
Barbara?
Not at all.
Babs?
No.
Well, she's been treated like a queen for so long.
She's
It's
probably
like-
arrogant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But rightfully so.
How old is she?
She's 71, I want to say.
Okay, I actually thought she was older.
Let's go back to Wendy.
In the struggle of addiction. Well, for
Troy, how come we pausing it?
Troy, you got to stop pausing.
some
it, bud.
time now, and even today and beyond, I have been living in a sober house. When you see me come to work, glammed up, right after the show, I go across the street, I do my Pilates. I told you 2 hours a day. I like to take care of my body. And
You see the one with the tiara? Like everything Wendy says,
Sure,
there's one
she's
with the tiara
nodding.
just looking at her going like,
Right,
yeah.
yes, you have said that.
You did tell us about the Pilates. I know.
I do recall hearing that.
She's actually like my Italian grandma.
struggle with cocaine in my past, and I never went to a place to get the treatment. I don't know how, except God was sitting on my shoulder and I just stopped. But there are people in your family, it might be you, who've been struggling.
Why is she holding
And
the
I wanted
microphone?
to know.
I thought of that, but I'm guessing it's in case there's a comment from anybody.
Or maybe she's
'Cause
going to go to the
mic'd.
audience right after, but
Yeah.
you would think that they would just pass her the mic later because
Yeah, it
it's
looks stupid.
She should have been sitting in her chair. She's standing. All of this positioning is
With the people behind
weird.
her.
It's
and
weird.
That Asian woman is awesome, though.
She's
Yo,
the
I love
greatest.
her.
I want to take her out to eat.
Uh-huh.
First of all, she's very beautiful, and it's really funny that she's wearing this.
I want her to wear that
tiara
hat
with a
while we go out.
sash.
Yeah.
It's just so.
I want to take her to Roy Rogers in that outfit.
It's like a bachelorette party.
Except she's way too old to be that. You know what I mean? She's not like this college chick that's hanging out with her
Right.
college
She's
friends.
like
who's-
31 with a job.
right.
Yeah, I love her.
What are you wearing a tiara still for?
Yeah.
It's over.
I want to take her out, make love.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wendy also, the problem with her microphone is it's pink sparklies all over it. So it kind of,
Yeah.
the minute you get lost in the seriousness of her speech.
It's like being in a Barbie house crying about your coke problem.
I
It's
was
like, well,
literally just thinking of a Barbie camper as you
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah,
Oh,
It's
no.
I mean, she's gonna get in her pink Corvette to go to her Pilates house. It's very pink and gaudy. you know?
The story. So this is my autobiographical story, and I'm living it, and I'm telling you this. After I go to the Pilates, I go to several meetings all around town in the tri-state area, and I see my brothers and sisters caught up in their addiction and looking for help. They don't know I'm Wendy. They don't care I'm Wendy. There's no autographs. There's no nothing. It's the brothers and sisters caught up in the struggle.
There's like shine marks coming off the microphone.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
like
it's
gleams.
glistening, yeah.
It's glistening
Yeah,
as
I like
she's
that.
saying this.
I like that.
Also, don't you
It has
think
a little lens flare.
Yeah, yeah,
Little J.J.
yeah.
Abrams vibe to it.
There
which
is
I like.
some sci-fi
Yeah.
effects being added into this. Even though I'm sure that they're not asking for photos and autographs, I mean, the people in the sober house know she's
A lot
Wendy
of them might,
Williams.
yeah.
I would think so. She's a pretty big celebrity at this
Yeah,
point,
people
especially
know
in New
Wendy.
York.
Yeah, she's been around forever. She's
Yeah.
been around for how long was she doing radio for before she got her show?
I mean, years.
So people, early 90s, mid 90s?
Yes.
She started doing radio, so people know who Wendy is.
Absolutely.
And it's been really interesting. This ride. Only Kevin and Kevin have known about this.
That's her husband, right?
Kevin and Kevin?
Who's
Her
the other
son
Kevin?
is Kevin.
Oh.
I see. The two Kevins.
Mm-hmm.
Not my parents.
Like the Wendy
Nobody knew.
Williams translator.
Because
Yeah,
I look
thank
so
you. I'm glad you're
glamorous
here.
out here. But
Glamorous?
after I finish my
Yeah, I mean, she's just wearing a black shirt.
No, she's wearing it almost looks like a romper from this point. But then look, she has a great wig stylist. I'm not particularly into this wig. She has better wigs.
Yeah.
This is not the best wig.
For her to do, a thing where she's like, normally I'm so glamorous. I know that's what you all see. And for her to be specifically not glamorous, it's weird.
It's cultural appropriation, by the way, her wig.
You think so?
It's not.
Sure.
What?
Because it's straight blonde hair?
Yeah.
I see.
You are the most insane.
That's right. It doesn't
It
bother
is
me.
Absolutely not. Culture.
You think it is, Jim?
Sure.
You don't think so, Matteo?
No.
But you, Jim, you do. You see
Yeah,
it.
if I went on there and had dreadlocks, they'd accuse me of it.
They might.
They would.
I
And
don't
they'd
know.
be-
They definitely would.
They
But
would.
I mean, there are white guys with dreadlocks that don't get accused of.
Sure,
cultural
there's one guy
appropriation.
couldn't perform in a college.
I mean, there's like one story
Yeah.
of that. There's lots of white guys with dreadlocks that don't get accused
No,
of
but if it
cultural
was a wig.
appropriation.
If it was a wig.
I do think it's so funny we're watching Wendy Williams and we've segued into
Oh, yeah. I don't-
dreadlocks and white suits.
after I finish my appointments, seeing my brothers and sisters and, breaking bread, I am driven by my 24-hour sober coach back to a home that I live in here in the in the tri-state with a bunch of smelly boys who've become my family. They hog the TV and watch soccer. We talk and read and talk and read, and then I get bored with them. Doors locked by 10 p.m. Lights out by 10 p.m. So I go to my room, and I stare at the ceiling, and I fall asleep to wake up to come back here to see you. So that is my truth.
That must be so strange, though, to go from a sober house, which I know friends who have worked
Sure.
at sober houses and how intense it can be, and then all of a sudden be this huge TV star. Like, and this show requires you to be super connected to what's happening with celebrity culture. So
Right.
it's like she must be really briefed when she gets into that room at 6 a.m. They must be like, all right, Wendy, this is the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very reliant on her staff at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And that is your job. You got to be there as often as you can. It's not like other jobs where you can take a month off. It's hard. I mean, she has.
She
but
just took
that's what I'm
2.5
saying.
months
It's
off.
hard-
She
it's
can't
hard
keep
to do,
taking
yeah.
time off. Otherwise, they're just going to give the gig to Jerry O'Connell once and for all.
I'm guessing she went to rehab first. That's my guess. That's probably why she might not have been able to leave the rehab. They might have said you're 30 days here or whatever
Right.
it was.
Right.
And then the sober house, she can kind of do both.
Make a deal, yeah.
So while she was gone for that period of time, you think she was in rehab?
I
Possibly.
guess I don't really
Yeah.
know anything about her, but I'm only guessing because she's saying a sober house. But she was off the air for a month, so she must have been doing
2.5
something.
months.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Everybody thought she was getting fired or she was done.
Yeah.
Well, the big deal was that she was like, her husband is cheating and has another family, and that was like the big rumor, and that the staff no longer wanted her there. Blah 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 blah.
I don't know. I mean, is it courageous for Wendy's like, she's spilled everybody else's gossip for so long. I feel like
It's honest.
She's doing the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I don't know, but I mean,
don't
it's
know if
honest.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's honest. I think it's interesting too when you do get someone who's in a position who's constantly calling out other people's, personal lives, and then she goes through some huge scandal and doesn't talk about it.
Right.
It is kind of like, wait a minute, why aren't you discussing this?
Right.
But it was so easy for you to. So at least she's stepping up and owning it, and we'll see what happens from here on.
Yeah. I wonder if people were going to start reporting on this, like if people had found out and she realized, like, I need to step in front of this because at some
Maybe.
point this is going to end up in the newspapers and whatnot. And then you're right. Then people go, you've been doing this? I thought your show was all about what's going on in your life and everything. You haven't been telling us
Right.
that this is what's going on with you?
Right.
But you're right. I mean, that to go from a sober house, which is, I mean, the very premise of it is it's like harsh reality. It's not, you're not special. You're not anything. It's just this, you're a human being.
Well, that's also called spade a spade. They have a chef. They have, they have people making the meals and cleaning the, this is.
You
the
think it's
sober
a
house?
very nice sober house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not, a sober house in the middle of Oklahoma.
Right.
Okay. This is Wendy Williams, millionaire. This is going to be a nice sober
Are there
house.
nice ones? I guess there are. I mean, I would assume
There must be one. I mean, because it's not like she's the first celebrity to have gone to a sober house, right?
No.
Right. Yeah.
So there have to be sober houses that cater to celebrities.
Yeah,
Ben
and
Affleck's been to what, like 8?
Yeah.
How many has he done?
and the sober coach, I don't understand. Like, I get what you do as a
Having
sober
somebody
coach.
around you 24 hours.
Yeah.
Don't do coke.
I think it's just some people need a person around them that's going to hold them accountable.
That's a celebrity thing. That's a celebrity.
Real people don't have.
Well, people in AA, they have a sponsor, and then they're a sponsee, so they have the.
Oh yeah, people you
know?
call and talk to.
Right.
Sure, I'm
But
saying
you don't have somebody around you.
You don't have
24 hours.
somebody
No,
traveling
driving
with you. Although again, it's I guess especially when you're on the road.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a musician and you're on the road, it's like you're like literally sitting in you're traveling. Everyone wants to give you coke. Everyone wants to get you high. It's probably a little different than most people have to go through too.
Right. Yeah, the opportunity is just there, always.
Oh, these are pictures of her getting out and going to her sober house. Now she's all glammed up.
Of course she is.
Is this interesting to anyone listening?
Yeah,
I mean,
so.
I think so. You got
I'm always afraid we're gonna get into. Is that her Pilates studio?
You got a celebrity.
That's
like
your sober living place, and it's not glamorous.
Yeah,
No.
there you go.
No.
Well, it's New York. You never know, right? You see the facade outside, and you're like, "Oh, this looks like shit," and then inside, it's glamorous.
yeah. But I'm sure they're actually making her go to bed at 10 o'clock. And,
Oh
and
yeah,
blah blah blah.
I
you know?
totally believe it too. Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing is in a place like that when you are a celebrity, when you're Wendy Williams and the whole show is about you, that kind of translates into your life where you can kind of behave however you want, you get whatever you want, you set your own rules. So to go from
any celebrity, when you get really big, you can just act any way you want, and people just say yes. People just agree to it.
Right. And that's why you see these celebrities doing such fucking crazy things because anybody that's around them that would say, no, you shouldn't do this, they've been eliminated.
Right.
I don't want that energy.
Who is he having an affair with?
Well, that's rumored, so no one knows. But
you refuse to believe it.
I don't not believe it, but I also just, she's been through enough.
I just like that you're so supportive of Wendy.
I am supportive of Wendy.
Jim's like, who's the affair supposedly with you? It's a rumor, Jim.
Now I'm her PR person.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not discuss that. Wendy's gone through enough.
Well, she's been through enough. Oh, yes.
Yeah, she does not live in a great sober house. It's just a sober house. It's just a normal sober house.
If that's what, we're looking at photos of what the sober house is purported to be.
It looks a little bit like a Quinton Inn or whatever those shit hotels are called. A Best Western in like Arizona.
What's the Quinta? I haven't stayed
La
in one.
Quinta Inn.
La Quinta Inn.
Yeah.
Are they bad?
Doesn't sound great.
All those little places, like different, like they always scare me because I'm like, they're going to have bed bugs.
Yeah.
Or like the, what's it called, suites? Who does all this? The Hampton,
Homewood Suites.
Homewood Suites.
Hampton Inn Suites are nice.
Uh-huh.
They're like fucking a Courtyard by Marriott.
Yeah.
I sleep like a motherfucker in a Courtyard by Marriott.
They're clean. You know what I mean? That you just want something clean and
I love a good Courtyard by Marriott. Fuck. It's my favorite place in the world.
I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan last weekend, and they put us in a pretty nice hotel. It was, and I love getting room service is my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah,
just a little prince,
right?
Waking up and ordering my shit eggs and shit coffee. Bring it to me.
You order too much food?
Oh, absolutely.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Right?
What is that? Oatmeal? Throw it on. Strawberries? No bananas. Just a piece of shit.
And then you just leave your tray on the outside of the room.
Here.
It's most of the food is still
Pick it
there.
up.
Yeah.
Immediately I put it out so bugs don't come.
I put it out just because I don't want the smell. I don't want to walk back in your room and all of a sudden you're like, oh, toast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and bugs will crawl all over it.
You really are afraid of bugs?
Yeah, what
like
bugs?
What's Travis? Oh,
When you walk through the garden.
Sorry.
If they're just like waiting, like in the wings for you to be finished with your food.
Let's go, boys.
No, but they smell. They smell it.
No, they don't.
How quickly do you think bugs operate?
I don't know. Ants, but don't fuck around. What do you think? They wait 2 weeks?
They're not just sitting there. You're acting like
It's
these
not like 10
hotels are all
minutes.
Yeah,
infested.
but eating and a fly lands on your shit while you're eating it. What do you think happens when you walk away from
Yeah,
an
Sam's
hour?
right. Like, that's basically what you're saying, is that these hotels are just infested and they're just waiting for you to finish.
Hey, I don't trust them.
Yes. Here's what I do. I get my room service. Generally, I just leave it there and then go to sleep. And then I put it out the next morning.
Never.
I've never seen one bug on it.
Never.
Never
Probably 'cause
one.
they're under the tin. You don't even see them. Never.
I pick up the tin to put it outside. They're not there.
No, I mean, you probably put the cap back on. That little thing that goes back on top
Sometimes
of the plate.
I hate when the cover that they put for the tray comes in that like thick plastic, and it looks like hospital foods coming to you.
Yes, yeah. Gross.
I'm like, just put the fucking aluminum tin. I can't with this thick 70s plastic. Like, it's easy to wash. Like, all right, well now it just looks like I'm eating shit, which it is shit.
But all of a sudden, your fantasies of being the prince and being served
ruined.
They all go, wait, now you're in prison.
Yeah, and I always have to figure out like, what outfit am I going to wear when I answer the door? You know what I mean? Is it the dress? Is it that? No, it's like you put on a robe because I'm always just in shorts or underwear, and then you get that knock, and I panic because they said 30 minutes. It's only been 15.
But you don't just go to you put the bathrobe on, you put on the hotel bath shoes
shirt or something. No, I'm not a big robe guy. To tell you the truth, I hate robes.
I don't like them either.
Yeah. I don't like them. It's like you're wearing a blanket? Grow up. I'm not into robes.
I see. I thought, but there's nothing luxurious about it.
No, I feel like no. To me, no.
After a massage, I like a robe. If I'm in a spa, I like a nice gentleman's robe.
You do.
To relax.
Yeah.
Crushed velvet robe.
Enjoy my spa experience.
Have a cigar and a robe.
Oh, yeah. That's what I like. A delightful Mandarin Oriental afternoon.
You really think that just all these hotels, you stay at really nice hotels.
I do. I prefer the Courtyard by Marriott over all of them.
They don't have bugs that are just sitting there waiting for you to do anything wrong.
No, you're right.
I'm doing some club in Phoenix. Should I switch to a hotel? They have a, what's it called?
A condo?
Yeah.
I'd literally sleep in the back of the owner's car before I'd stay in the fucking condo.
I'm gonna.
You're doing it right now.
Reminder on my phone to call my manager today.
Yeah, absolutely. The comedy condo.
Yeah.
Never.
Did you used to do condos?
You bet I did.
That's like sleeping on a giant bed bug.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Disguised as a bed.
So it's a condo that they just get and everybody just
comes in
as
it.
the comics.
They all come in it.
Right. And they don't wash the sheets.
I like
they just
the idea of like
bed.
a kitchen so I could cook, but it's 2 nights. So I'm like, I can find food for 2 nights.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I like a hotel. I haven't stayed in a condo in many years. I have done them. They're awful.
Did you ever get bed bugs in them?
No, I've never had bed bugs. But I'm careful, and I don't put my shit on the bed either.
No,
I'm sure I've had them and didn't know it, like in a hotel. But my stuff is separate. I'll find a dresser and I'll stack my stuff on top of it. I don't even put it in the drawers.
I get a string, attach it to the ceiling, and have everything I own hanging, so those bed bugs can't get anywhere near me.
But if the bed bugs are that bad that you can't put anything anywhere,
you would know it.
They can crawl on furniture too.
You would see
They can, sure. I'm just saying that the odds are they'll be in the bed.
Yeah, they'll stick to the bed because that's where the person sleeps. So the heat is, that's where they go.
But let's be honest, that's why they call them
exactly
bed bugs.
But they can get all over. But you have to be really infested for them to be in the walls.
Yeah.
They're disgusting.
Ugh, I'm just getting nervous thinking about it.
Have you ever had an encounter with bed bugs for somebody that's worried about them as
My
much as you are?
ex-girlfriend had them.
Not crabs.
No, bed bugs.
Okay.
Well, those two, but she had bed bugs. And they were driving her crazy, so she had to sleep a certain way.
Why didn't she call somebody to get rid of them?
Oh, she did. But as far as getting rid of her, like, she had all these clothes and she'd put them in
bags.
In bags, and I made her wash them down in my apartment building downstairs. I wouldn't let her use my washer. I'm like downstairs, and then after you're done, you dry them, put them in this bag, seal it. And I bought her these plastic things. I'm like, seal it for a week so no air gets in.
Yeah. Actually, they say to keep it for like a month in a bag.
Really?
Yeah.
I do feel like if I ever got bed bugs, I would never be able to be comfortable in that spot ever again.
No, you have to get rid of the bed. You have to get rid of everything.
Everything. I feel like I'd
everything
want to
must
move.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ugh, that's just the thought of it.
It's bad.
New York's famous for that dog, Roscoe the dog, who walks in the house and sits and barks if he smells bed bugs.
Yeah. They got the movie theaters in Times Square had a big bed bug problem for a while.
Movie theaters get them. Fitting rooms get them.
Really? Fitting rooms?
Oh, sure, because people are sitting on the cloth, putting their dumb clothes down, their bags, that have bed bugs. Subways get them.
Yeah, Subways, that makes sense. A lot of times in Subways, I don't want to sit down.
No.
I
but
just
the Subways,
stand.
It's a hard plastic chair.
Plastic. It's one solid piece. Like there's no
It's easier to
cracks.
clean. They just come in and just
hose it down.
The same way they hose down porn stars' assholes is how they hose down,
It's just going to get messy again.
Mhm.
Let's not go to all the trouble.
Haven't you noticed that porn stars' assholes are just it's like they take a fire hose to them. They are just so clean.
Immaculate. They get a little butt jelly on them once in a while, as they call it. Butt jelly.
What's butt jelly?
When you're doing an anal scene and you get a little gunk on the old dick.
Oh, that's called butt
jelly? In the
jelly?
business, they call it butt jelly.
I think it's just shit, right?
Yeah, but it might not be necessarily a whole bunch. It might just be a teeny bit of shit.
I see. You don't want to make
that's
a big...
got water mixed in with it.
Right. I get it.
Butt jelly.
Let's not call this doo-doo and make a big production out of it.
Yeah.
It's a little butt jelly.
We've all had a mishap.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I had one mishap in 1974.
Oh, you know, she shit on a bunch of dicks.
You think so?
Oh, lies out. Come on. She never cleans out.
That's how I hit the high notes.
Speaking of movie theaters, by the way, did you see what our favorite service is back?
I was hoping they'd bring that back.
Movie Pass.
It's a good deal.
Movie Pass is back. Jim and I have been tracking the progress of this company, like a couple of investors, quite frankly. We're obsessed with Movie Pass. I am not a subscriber still. You're not either, Jim?
No, I'm not.
No.
I don't even. I go to like one movie a year.
Well, Movie Pass is this incredible service, and it was launched. It was launched a while back, but about a year ago, they revamped their service. So it was for $10 a month. You subscribe to Movie Pass.
Okay.
And at $10 a month, you can get you can go to as many movies as you want, as much as you want.
Well, that sounds like a good idea.
So it's $10 a month.
Okay.
And you can see basically up to 30 movies.
Isn't
You
it
can
like
do-
$32 for an adult ticket
It
in New
is.
York? Like $10 a month seems like a great deal.
Well, and here's how the company structured it. They just bought the tickets. So the company is actually buying the ticket. They give you a debit card. So you have a Movie Pass debit card. So you go to the theater, you put your credit card in the machine, you get your movie tickets. All you did was pay them $9.99 for the month, and you can go up to 30 times that month and see as many movies as you want. Here's the issue. They ran out of money because everything, all the movie tickets were more expensive than anybody was paying per month.
Right.
Yeah. So they quickly ran into the issue.
No one
of-
thought about.
Look, when you're going to start a business, you have to know about money. You have to know about SaaS.
So very quickly they go, wait, if you go to one movie for the month,
You got your
just see
money's
one.
worth.
Yeah, we've actually lost money. Movie Pass loses money if a subscriber goes to one movie a month. If they go to 30, they lose a tremendous amount of money. So,
Well, who wouldn't go to 30? You get $10 a month. You're going to go to every movie you could possibly go to.
well, they were factoring in that people would just sign up and not go to anything, and unfortunately,
dopes.
they
People love the
predicted.
movies.
Companies sound stupid.
Yeah, they predicted wrong.
really stupid.
They predicted wrong. They went through.
How do they even convince anybody of this idea?
I
They
don't
probably
know.
figured it would initially be a hit, and then all of a sudden, like AOL, people would just forget to take it off their bill.
Right.
What if that was the noise made every time you got a movie? You're like, I'm not coming back here.
That's what they were
This
hoping
is
for.
humiliating.
Yeah.
Get off the phone. I'm online.
Did you ever see the guy who does the You've Got Mail? He's an Uber driver now.
No.
Could you please show that guy?
You've got mail. What it sounds. Uber drivers.
But he's the original AOL voice guy.
He is.
Oh, yeah.
And now
He's
he's
the guy-
Uber driving.
Yeah.
This guy's.
Oh, this is painful.
Oh,
He's
no,
the
this is
guy who
fine.
said "You've got mail," the
Oh.
original voice.
So this is like for a fun thing, right?
Yeah,
This
well,
isn't
I'm sure he
real.
segues it in somehow. No, it's real. Yeah.
It's real. That's
Look.
the guy.
Look at these assholes in the background.
These Uber passengers are in shock. No. Why? Because their driver is Elwood
First of all,
Edwards.
can I just say something?
Yes, you may.
The people, okay, Inside Edition, the people doing this voice, do they think they're on Mad TV? No one actually talks like this. These people are blown away. No, they're not. If I met the guy who did the You've Got Mail, I'd say, oh, that's interesting.
Mildly interesting.
Mildly interesting.
You wouldn't be blown away.
No, I can't believe I'm in the back. Like, how? Like, and who's the director watching? This guy talks like this and say, got it. A bunch of assholes.
They really are horrible.
Oh,
It is
they're
horrendous. It is
assholes.
horrendous.
All right, let's now watch it again. You have to hear him say it. It's really a great
It's great.
moment.
It's great.
Guy behind that famous greeting from the early days of the internet.
You've got mail.
So how did Elwood end up driving for Uber?
Everywhere I go, people say, you get residuals? Do you make a lot of money from it? You know? And the question is always answered with no.
Elwood was paid just $200
Here's
for
the
that
asshole.
famous recording.
Yeah.
His wife was working for AOL at the time.
By the
Get
way,
this.
he's making the same exaggerated faces that you just were.
By the way, the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts show. So this is fun, and I'm going to explode.
You can't exist
No one talks like
normally.
that. It's
and
not
talk
normal
Like
You
that.
know when they like tried to like pull an atom apart or whatever that big machine is in Germany or whatever?
The
Yeah.
Hadron Collider
Yeah,
in Switzerland. I think.
that's what's happening
Sweden.
on his face.
By the way, whoever allowed that guy to sign up and get $200 to do the AOL voice, clearly this was going to end up being one of those stories. You know, in the moment one day people are going to look back on this and say, that was a stupid thing you did.
Well, he's trying to pull, what's his name from the Cosby Show? He's trying to pull like the Trader Joe's, like
Right.
now he's working at Trader Joe's, blah, blah, blah. But it's also like the second we were done with AOL, I never thought about the "you got mail" guy.
No, I didn't either.
And it's what is it my fault that he didn't have another job while he was doing that voice? Like,
I never even considered him a guy. I figured it was just a computer
Yeah, I
thing.
did too.
Like,
We have to hear him say it. This will be fun.
You like when he says it.
I do. It's the real guy saying it.
Right. There's something fun and nostalgic
Oh, my
about
God.
it, isn't there?
Yeah.
I would just be so depressed if I got in this Uber.
It'd be great if he said it and then just a gunshot rang out.
also, let me just
from a
say,
tower.
you know that not one person recognized his voice, and
No.
that he tells every single
Everyone.
driver, "Have you ever used AOL?"
Yeah, so you got email? Fuck you. Of course I do. Gmail, you fucking cunt.
Yeah. Whenever I get an email from AOL.com, I think just it's over.
It's
Fuck off.
over.
Go away.
over.
Well, that's what's so great is that he's getting to the point where it's been so long that he could pick up young people and go, "Do you remember AOL?" And they'll go, "No,
No, we don't.
Mm-hmm. And he's got nothing.
AOL, I mean, at the bottom of the ocean must be hundreds of thousands of CDs of 1,000 free hours of AOL.
Do you know how long I saved those CDs for? I'm such a psychopath.
You did.
In case it came back, I kept all of those old. I finally got rid of them. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, they don't even have CD drives.
Get rid of
let
them.
alone AOL.
I still have floppy disks.
Smart.
In case.
Smart.
I want to read them. I don't know how. I have to get a reader to see what's on them.
It's not worth it. It's
No, there's nothing
Oregon
on
Trail.
them.
You really want to play the Oregon Trail? Just get an emulator online. Go to Google.
No, I probably had old like notes and stuff on them.
I'm sure they're really valuable notes too.
Oh, they're probably not good jokes.
No, they're probably
bad jokes.
Bad
Guys, come on.
You're right. No, you're right.
Here it goes.
You're right.
This guy's
did it as a favor.
Oh,
I recorded.
I'd love
Welcome.
to slap him.
You've got mail.
done.
File's done.
Done.
Goodbye. I did
Okay,
that on
also,
my
he
cassette.
doesn't sound like what he used to sound like
No, he
anymore.
doesn't.
He did it too quick. It doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
I sound more like it. You've got mail.
If you told me you were the AOL guy, I believe you.
File's
Yeah.
done.
If this guy said it, I'd say no. I think it was Matteo. I don't think it was you.
Can you imagine an Uber driver like everyone? I used to be the voice of the Tony the Tiger.
Yeah. Okay. What does he sound like?
They're great. Just take me to my destination.
Yeah, I don't
you
wanna-
asshole. I don't give a
Do
shit.
you ever see the woman who does the airport? United Airlines. There's that woman. Look up airport voice lady because she's in every fucking airport making every fucking announcement.
I want to
What are
know
you
who
talking
does
about?
the elevator, like lobby. Have you ever heard that when you're like in an elevator? That voice, they use that voice more than once. When you get
Yes.
to the lobby. I'm like, what is she about? Is she literally flicking her bean as she's saying lobby?
This
It
lady
is sexual.
is in every fucking
Airport.
airport.
All right, let's take a
All
listen.
my
Everyone.
airports are full of me listening to Mariah. The only time I take it off is I say hi when I go to the desk and I put it back on.
Oh, you don't listen to the announcements?
No.
We don't need the big story, the big lead in. Let's just get to the lady.
Yeah.
The guy, we've all been to airports. Yes. Shut up.
Thank you.
Fuck off. Indeed.
Welcome to New York Kennedy International Airport.
Yeah.
In a way, she's a lot like your luggage.
No, she
No,
isn't.
she's not.
There's dildos in it.
Yeah.
You ever feel self-conscious when it goes through the thing and you know they're looking
When I
at
have a
this-
cock pump? No,
Yeah.
I don't. When they literally opened my bag. Well, here's what they couldn't find. There was something bothering them, and it was a little stand for your iPhone, but it's shaped like a sharp little triangle, and fucking someone had a cock pump that he was bringing on the road. Dick health, get the blood flowing.
It's important.
And the guy opened it up, and my cock pump is right there. It was fucking humiliating. He didn't say anything.
Jim, it pains me to hear you say
It was a cock pump.
It was?
It pains me to hear it.
Did he say, what's this?
No, he knew. We all knew what it was. That was humiliating.
It's literally a scene from Austin Powers.
Yeah, it's the truth. It was, but
Yeah.
he didn't pull it out and hold it. He opened it up, and a part of me laughed. I was like, I know what's in here.
It's not mine.
But that's what was bugging me.
Do cock pumps, they work?
They do. They get the blood flowing, and you hold it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or
I feel
whatever.
like it would hurt.
It does a little if you do too much, but it keeps your dick. It keeps blood pumping into your dick.
Huh.
It's good.
That's
I
important.
invested in cock. I need one.
All right, let's see what
I
this
haven't
woman...
used it in a while. I probably should begin again.
I think so,
It's
too.
good for the penis to be, my age. You got to keep the dick working.
Yeah. Dick
Yeah.
health is important.
It sure is.
Really important.
That's why I went for those treatments.
They say health starts in the dick.
It does.
Yeah, that's where life starts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And ends, depending on. Go ahead.
That's such an East Coast thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Airport.
Everywhere you go,
There's an uptown train.
there she
Yeah,
is.
this bit stinks. I just wanted to hear.
Authoritative
She's
voice.
just a friendly voice.
And the
No, they show her
authoritative
face.
voice that you hear. We've really squeezed 4 minutes out of what needs 15 seconds of a story.
Yeah, these stories where the point of it is this is a person that's saying those things that you hear. We know how voice recordings work.
How much do you hate it though if you're married to her and you're in a fight and you got to take a business trip? Hey, your fucking bitchy wife in the airport. Yeah. Flight delayed. Fuck you.
Echoing in the center of chaos.
It's the soothing voice.
Oh, we have to hear the
she
interviews. Let's just find the lady. Just zip it out. I don't
Did they
think-
find
There
Glenn
you go.
Close in the airport to do this interview? Okay, now this bitch lives in what? The Alps? Where
Of
is
course
she?
she does. And nobody sits there. Nobody hears these voices and actually has an opinion about them.
No one listens to the voice on the CTA when they say there's train traffic going, what a soothing voice. They're thinking, get me on this fucking train.
That's it.
Maine.
Thank you for your understanding.
Oh,
Where
God,
that
it's
voice
always
has a
some...
face.
Jakarta.
Carolyn
aircraft,
Hopkins'
and
face.
crew.
And let me
Why
tell you
on-
something, too. The ego on this woman that I'll just record from home. Why
Yeah.
go into a studio?
Yeah.
She's in a
'cause you're-
place now. Please, she is the. What are you going to do? Replace her?
Yeah.
She's wearing Meryl Streep's wig from Devil Wears Prada, and she
not
really
good.
is bold with this like plum purple like jacket. I don't like her.
She's a pro though. She does it right. She does it right from her house.
How difficult would it be to find another woman that sounds like a woman?
Yeah, but she's the best.
Yeah, she's the best.
Of course, clearly.
It's a
Just
soothing voice.
When you hear her
Right.
talking into doing her live read, her, she's doing the read or whatever. She's great. Jakarta.
More people would listen if the voice was more distinctive. Like if
Right.
you had like some smoker Italian woman from
Yeah.
New Jersey getting on there like, hey, the train's gonna be late, you son of a bitch. You would listen.
You would enjoy it.
yeah.
Or get a gay guy on there. Girl, she's late. How many minutes late? I don't know. Just passive aggressive.
I think it'd be good.
Mean.
Moving sidewalk. Please stand to the right.
I'm
At
done with her.
63 years
I'm
old,
done
she's
with her.
Done.
I went from not thinking about her to hating her.
I have mixed feelings.
And also, what computer is that? What computer is that? Is that Apple, the Apple computer from from 89?
84 or whatever.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, 1984.
This video is from 2011. That's what an impression it had on
So
Jim.
she's 71 now. Carolyn Hopkins.
Carolyn Hopkins.
I wonder if she's even still doing it. They could just use her recordings forever. Who cares?
Well, they had the Q line come in, so now she's got to
Oh.
say the stops for the Q line.
Of course.
There's
Of course.
new updates. What are they going to do when she dies? They have corrections to make.
Just find another woman that sounds like a woman.
Find anyone to read it.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
they have.
My mom could do it.
They have a male and female voice for the MTA, so then they switch off. So when it like for her, it's like
She was probably pissed about that.
Well,
That's half her work.
they always say like train traffic ahead. It's always weird where what they choose to use a male voice and a
Yes.
female voice for.
How much would it suck though to hear her dirty talking to you after you hear her in the airport all day? I'm going to suck your cock. And she's like, oh.
I'm gonna suck your cock. She's got good diction.
Imagine her voice talking dirty, looking up at you. Gonna pop your dick.
Complete nightmare. Well, me for multiple reasons, but also
You get that. Yeah. You
Well,
get
picture the You Got Mail guy.
you've got. I don't even know. Come.
You just get that weird feeling you
That's what he
get.
says when he comes. File done.
Goodbye.
You get that weird, visceral, angry feeling you get when you hear the sound your alarm clock makes out in life. Like when somebody else's iPhone alarm goes off in the middle of the
You're
day.
like, "Ah!"
Right. But you'd get that when she was dirty talking you.
Yeah, I'm sure
Because
you
you're
would.
thinking about your morning commute. You're thinking about being delayed at the airport. Her voice is not coupled with anything pleasant.
Gotta hear your wife.
Ugh.
I like it better in Italy. Like if you go to like Italy, their like neutral voice is always. She just sounds like some really hot woman.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how they say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Buongiorno ragazzi, la prossima fermata sarebbe. I'm like, oh, that's
I gotta meet this woman.
way better. Yeah,
I gotta
where
meet
is
this
she?
woman.
Because you know she's not wearing a plum Express for Men's extra large shirt, living in fucking Maine, typing on a 1994 computer, using Windows 95 in a shit wig, just proud of herself and her. I don't
This
know.
is a unisex shirt, by the way. This shirt is unisex.
By the way, they say that whenever you go to buy cologne and it's for a woman, I go, "Is this man doing? It's unisex." No, it's not.
Yeah. Just trying to get you to buy it without feeling like a femme,
and it works.
Yeah, it does.
I have one that I'm like, this is a fucking perfume. I can't even wear it anymore. It's Killian, but it's a woman's fucking scent. I hate it now.
Isn't it weird how we've distinguished like what a difference between a male and a woman's scent is?
I know.
It's so stupid.
And I would wear something that I didn't care if it's feminine or not. I just don't like this that much. And I bought it and I shouldn't have. And then a girl I know was wearing it. And I'm like, oh.
It's fine. The lingerie, the dildos, and the cock pump are fine, but a woman's perfume
can't be walking around smelling like a woman.
Yeah.
I don't want to smell like a woman.
I don't have a dildo. I had one fake dick for a while that fucking girls would like me to plow into them.
You like they liked that.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. But would it ever make you feel insecure?
No.
No.
How could it? It's a different universe that I'm from.
Right.
Please. If it was close, I might, but this thing was just, please, wasn't even human.
It was a different deal altogether.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, if you need to be stretched like that, there's nothing I can do.
Right. Right. I understand.
You ever walk into a sex store and you see some of these things and you're like, that looks like a new technology for the military. I can't believe people are sticking this up their ass.
Yeah. I bought like a fake ass to fuck.
You did?
Yeah, I told you that.
How does it feel?
Well, you said you bought
silly.
You said you bought
I feel silly.
I thought it was the front that you bought. You bought the pelvis. I didn't
I know,
realize.
but I bought the ass too.
Oh, you bought both sides.
I bought two. I finally found the S came in the mail. I had to order it.
Is there anything more
Smart.
truly, like if you really think about you fucking a fake ass, is there anything more like humanity is ridiculous?
Yeah.
You've bought a fake ass.
Did you fuck it?
You bet I did.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was like one of those. It's okay. You just feel like such a fool.
You liked it better than the pelvis from before?
I did. Yeah, the pelvis is great. It's terrible. This I don't like the hands on it. You feel like a fucking creep.
Doesn't like the hands, but likes
there's
the ball
I didn't even notice the balls. Jesus, shows you how jaded I am.
Oh my God, that's not jaded.
But no asshole looks like that. I mean, this looks like, oh my God. That's a vagina. Now that's exactly what a vagina looks like?
No, that's a good one. That's a fat one.
A fat vagina?
So when you have a girl that's over at your place and she's spreading her cheeks for you and her balls are hanging down, you say, "Get those hands out of the way."
Yeah, the hands bother me.
Yeah,
I don't like
get
the
that.
hands.
I get that.
Yeah, I don't know. I know many people. See, that doesn't even look real. That looks like a weird, pipe with what looks like could be an ass, a hole, and then a dick pointing directly at me,
It's really
which is
bizarre.
almost threatening.
It's
It's like
bizarre.
they're moving into attack.
Yeah.
Mine looked like that. One of mine looked like that with the feet on it. I hate it.
You didn't like the one with the feet.
How
Hate
big
it.
is it? Is it human size?
No, I mean, but it's like a child size. It creeps me out.
Oh,
I
that's
can't use
disgusting.
it.
It just
It's not
is
meant to be.
horrible.
It's meant to be just a thing. But I was gonna bring it in before I threw it out. I don't use it.
Well, we should see if we can get one of the guys to return it.
Oh yeah, we were gonna do that.
Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
return policy on a fake ass?
Just say it was used gently.
I would blow loads in it and then have to lift
How do
it.
you
It was all-
clean it?
Well, that's a great question. I would have to lift the whole thing, and it was all clumsy and hard to carry. And then I was like Harvey Keitel pulling Tim Roth in Reservoir Dogs. And you gotta put it under the sink and hose it out. It's fucking.
It is not worth the cleanup to come into a fake butt to
No.
think that you have to then, I mean, because that's the emasculinity and dignity to pick it up and carry it and bring it to the sink. If anyone could watch you.
Disgusting. And then you're fucking putting your fingers in to make sure the asshole's cleaned out. It's a whole operation.
And sometimes it's not, right? You catch a little something.
There's all the times where there's residual.
That's where you get the juice, the jam, whatever you called
The
it.
butt jelly.
The butt jelly.
Is that when you just are happy that you live alone, or is that when the sadness creeps in?
No, that's
It's
when
a mixture of both.
I see.
Yeah, you're kind of happy, you're sad. You're like, while you're fucking it, you're looking up at the door jam, wondering if it could support your weight. Like, I don't know, what am I doing?
I get it. I
I'm
get
like
it.
50.
It
I'm
makes
alone in my
sense.
apartment, fucking a plastic torso. Lonely asshole.
This is where I've ended up.
This is what's happened.
I love that
Yeah.
we spent 20 minutes hating a woman doing a wonderful job, and then we're fucking butts. Like, this woman's an idiot. Now, when I ordered my fake butt,
Yeah, that's, well.
No, but I know I'm finished. Like, I know it's over for me. When
have you made this a bit on stage?
No, it's just that.
Oh my God, Jim! It's the funniest thing I've ever.
Isn't that amazing?
You
That-
100% should talk about that on stage.
I hadn't thought of it, yeah.
Oh, it is really funny.
But that's the beauty of Jim Norton. That a story like that is just the day-to-day of Jim.
Well, because so many people would die to have something like that material. Like, they wouldn't
Right.
dream it up, and Jim's
That's just it's a boring
Would this
thing.
door support me while you're fucking a fake ass? And I mean, it's really ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea of you, and I mean,
I was trying to stop the habit. This is true. I touch my nipples a lot,
right?
And I become so dependent on that,
right?
That it makes sex hard because you're not even partnered up when you're having sex. Your hands are just on your own.
Yeah.
So it's really hard.
I feel nothing from my nipples.
I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
How do you stop yourself from tweaking your nipples if you're fucking a torso?
Well, that's the point.
Not a torso, a pelvis.
My dick was dying a lot because I was just making myself not do it, and then you eventually get into it. You push yourself through to come. It's like retraining your body for being fucked up.
But maybe it wasn't the fact that you were lacking the nipple tweedling. Maybe it was the fact that your body was looking down and saying, "This is just a severed pelvis."
Yeah,
There's nothing
I mean,
sexy.
but I say that when
going
it's a
on
real person anyway.
I see.
No, it's one of those things where I just knew that it's just too creepy, man.
Right. It's creepy. So have you been successful laying off nipple play?
Mm-mm.
No, you have not been.
I haven't fucked the torso. No, I'm right back to it.
Nipple play.
Right back to lightly brushing.
You like that?
Love it.
There's a porn star named Austin Wolf, I think is his name, and he's always grabbing his nipples in his videos, and it's kind of distracting sometimes.
Yeah, you need it sometimes. Like you need. Look up Austin Wolf.
There he
put it
is.
in A, and Austin Wolf's name popped up.
Of course, it's
so hot.
Troy's Googled that before.
You think that guy's attractive? I guess he's in great shape, but I just don't.
Yeah, well, he's really, really, really good at having sex. Like you watch him having sex, and you're like, okay, he knows what
Some
he's doing.
people are good. Would you?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are just good at fucking. I mean, the pros. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm fascinated
Okay,
by
we
anybody.
don't need to watch him fucking.
Yeah, I don't need.
This
Let's
is,
see
I don't
Austin
need,
Wolf. Let's see.
Oh my god! You just want to
my
watch
God.
gay porn?
I don't
now?
watch gay porn. I don't care, but this doesn't do anything for me.
No, this is gonna be a bad video. You got to go to the amateur. Oh my! What is this music?
Troy, look at his penis dangling over his leg.
His
I hate
penis isn't the biggest penis either, but
Yeah,
it's
we
not
are.
about that. It's
No.
about how he moves and treats the guys and stuff. Like he's really, really.
How does he
hot.
treat them?
Oh my god!
I mean, it depends on the. God, really, just getting into it.
Well, it depends
now
on
I'm
the
getting
guy.
This
embarrassed.
is for Jim's benefit. Don't worry.
No,
No,
I
you
don't.
can't watch the professional videos. You got to watch.
Oh, he's
like,
slapping the guy. I get it. He's
Oh my
bossing him
God,
around.
I can't watch. This is.
Whoa.
Wow.
See, I
that guy's
hate
doing it. That guy's doing it. I hate
a plank. I hate when you
plank.
watch porn.
Yeah,
if
but
you
what's
watch porn, no, but if you watch porn that's they're getting they're getting paid like it's a studio. They're always putting themselves in position no one cares about.
He's not just doing a plank.
He's eating the guy's asshole while the guy does a plank.
Yes, thank you. You know,
I
there are
guess,
people
I guess
listening
that's the
going,
gayest thing you could do because he's like, good, I'll get an ab workout in and I'll get fucked at the same time. You've got to turn this off.
It's too much.
You
Troy.
like
It's too
this?
much.
Troy, I understand.
And not
you
with
like
other
it.
people
No, this is
around.
for Jim.
I
I
understand you like
particularly
it, Troy.
wouldn't enjoy this because it's too high production.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
Jim's not
need
even
a
looking
good
anymore,
lighting.
Troy. You could turn off your gay porn. Troy.
I like a little bit of a low budget
You can turn
vibe
it-
to
okay.
porn.
Yeah, I want it to look like there's two people actually having sex. You've got to turn off this gay
Troy,
porn.
you can turn
Troy,
off your gay
got to
porn.
be done with it.
I understand you like it.
It's
and
too
you want to
distracting
bring
of
your
a
interest
conversation.
into the
Trying
show.
to help the segment.
The plank, I don't understand. Like the guy was doing a plank
Show
on a
him off.
windowsill, and the other guy was behind him, eating his ass, supporting his legs, and eating his asshole.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do when I'm getting fucked is work out. I do that enough. I don't need to be doing a plank.
You want to show
and-
off your abilities, though.
Okay, well then,
I hate
let me
planks.
sing opera while I'm getting fucked next time.
I hate planks.
Yeah, they're really horrible. I hate
can't
doing
do 'em.
abs
I don't like it either. But you have great abs.
because of my diet.
What do you eat?
I have a pretty strict diet. Eat every 4 hours, and it's like a certain amount of protein, fat, carbs. I mean, it's very boring.
You drink a lot of soda?
I drink no soda.
Oh,
How about diet soda?
I drink no.
What do you eat
I
to-
drink water and coffee.
Do you have
That's
little
it?
desserts?
Yeah, at the cellar, I always will get cheesecake or like ice cream or something.
Do you ever get the Entenmann's little mini donuts and you just eat them?
No.
Do you work out more than twice a week for an hour each time?
5 days a week.
Okay, how many hours a day?
About an hour to an hour and a half.
It's more different than my. I'll do 4 days when I'm in New York, but
That's really good.
Yeah,
When I was with Aziz, I had to find a new gym in every city. Every day I would, because you eat
Why
like
not the
shit
hotel?
on the road. Because the hotel's like a treadmill, and then that's it. Like a weight. They just have one weight, and it's like a purple weight that weighs 5 pounds from Wanda's Workout World in 1989.
That's usually enough for you, right, Jim?
yeah. I like a good purple one.
Yeah,
and I'll count and 1 and 2 and 3. No, I like to get on the road and I like to go to the gym and do stuff.
I go to Equinox, so I can, like, when I'm in Chicago this week, I'll use the Equinox there.
I've never gone to I'm an Equinox. I never used the fucking Equinox gym on the road. I probably should.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I get so lazy and fucking depressed on the road. It stinks.
Well, that's why you got to force yourself out of the house. I mean,
You probably would be less depressed if you actually did that.
Maybe.
It'll help. I mean, it is hard to leave that fucking hotel room. I will sit and watch TV all day. I'll watch cooking videos. I'll watch Ghost Adventures. I'll do anything.